Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to the Heart Health Summit. I am Valerie Arroyo, your founder of the Women's Healing Circle, and I am so excited for today's conversation. I'm so excited that you have made the decision to show up today. You will not be disappointed. I want you to go ahead and do two things for me before we get started. The first, I want you to drop it into the chat for me. Where are you tuning in from? We want to know just how wide and how far this has reached you. So go ahead and drop it in the chat. Where are you tuning in from this morning? I pray that you all are feeling well, that you had a chance to go ahead and download or upload your digital toolkit. It was in your emails. And if for some reason you did not get a chance to yet, the QR code is right here on your screen. So go ahead and take a screenshot of that so that way you have access to the tons of information that has been carefully curated for you for today's experience. All right. I see New Jersey is in the house. Come on, New Jersey. All right. The second thing that I want you to do before we get started, I want you to go ahead and like this and then share it with three other women who need to be in the room. It's okay if they out doing their grocery shopping, their laundry, or what have you. They can tune into YouTube while they do it. But we don't want anyone to miss this transformational conversation that is going to happen today around heart health. All right. Now, y'all know, well, if you know, you know. Women's Healing Circle is all around empowerment of women, but it is also our mission to really get to the heart of the things that are holding us back from living our lives out fully. And so, before we do anything else today, before we look at a single slide deck, before we talk to any one of our experts, I want us to do something that I don't believe we do nearly enough. And that is to just simply breathe. So, I want you to just take a deep breath in and exhale it out. I don't know about you, but for me, that felt good. So, we're going to do a few more. Just breathe in and exhale out. As women, we carry so much weight on our shoulders. We have so much responsibility. But in this space, at this time, I want you to just give yourself permission to just breathe. And as we go through the discussion and the conversation today, at any given moment, you feel yourself tensing up, I want you to remember to just breathe. Because I know if you're anything like me, when you walked onto this into this virtual room today, you have the competition of your to-do list just running around in your mind. You probably spent this morning just making sure the kids were good, the husband was good, like everything else was good before you got dressed and got here. You probably had the chance to check on everyone else's heart this morning. But when was the last time that you checked on yours? I know you're the one wearing the cape. We like that superwoman cape, right? You're the strong one. But for the next 3 hours, I'm giving you permission. As a matter of fact, I want you to take your own permission to just hang that cape up. Take it right on off, put it right to the side because you're not here for performance. You're not here to protect anyone else. This is a space that has been created for you to know that you are seen, that you are valued, that you are loved, and through this healing conversation, that you shall be made whole. And so, if you take that permission today, I want you to drop in permission into the chat so that way I know I'm not the only one who's going to take permission today to simply breathe. All right, so a little bit around why we're here. because people often ask me all the time, what is your obsession with heart health, right? Like, what's so special about it? And a lot of times in the conversations that I have, what I notice is that we think that heart health is only connected to blood pressure and, cholesterol. Those are more of the topics that we know about. But for this particular mission started for me on a bathroom floor. See, on the outside, I had the degrees, I had the goals, I had the perfect path all planned out. But on the inside, I was completely breaking apart. In 2017, I lost my cousin, Asia Lynn, to a heart condition. She was brilliant. She had a smile that would just light up the room. And then, without warning, she was gone. And it all came from an enlarged heart, was the condition. Now, I don't remember the exact medical term, but it was from an enlarged heart. And she passed away in her sleep. And it was on that moment in 2017 where I had just left the funeral, went on to Chicago to be a part of a leadership development program. I left my family behind, I left my children behind, and I was alone with my thoughts, alone with my emotion, alone with my feelings. And it was in that moment on the bathroom floor that I cried out to God because I couldn't understand why a heart that was so full of life just stopped. But see, it was in that brokenness that I found my purpose, that I found my moment and my opportunity to heal. It was in that moment, as the Lord wrapped his arms around me, that I heard him share what my mandate was, which was to help heal his daughters. But it would first start with allowing him to heal me. See, that meant that I could not be my own hero. That meant that I had to take time to pause, to reflect, to breathe, to sit with my emotions that I had been pushing off and pushing to the side for so long because I was caring and tending to everyone else. It was in that moment that I realized that heart disease isn't just this clinical statistic that we get to learn about. But for me, it became a name. It became a face. And for us women of color, it became a mission to rewrite the story. Again, we carry so much weight. We have the trauma of our ancestors. It's a lot to carry to become your ancestors' wildest dreams, right? We also have the stress of our careers. We have the needs of our families. All of these things that our physical heart takes on and tries to handle the load of it all. And we end up dying from the weight of being everything to everyone, which is why I encourage you to take permission just for the time that you're in this room to just breathe and to allow this to be a moment that fills you back up. So, I don't know if you know of the statistics, but heart disease related to stress is the number one silent killer of women of color. And statistics tell us that nearly 50% of Black women over the age of 20 are living with cardiovascular disease right now. And so we are the least likely to be heard in the doctor's office and the most likely to be told that our symptoms, which we're going to get into what some of those symptoms are, right? But those symptoms, oh, that's just stress. And if I'm honest, there's been several times where myself, I have brushed off the symptoms as, oh, that's just stress. Oh, I just need rest. Or let me go get a ginger ale, it's just gas. But today we are going to break that silence. Today is about healing your heart from the inside out. And so we're not going to just look at the heart itself in terms of just like the physical aspect of it, but we're going to look at it holistically. We have gathered a panel of amazing, incredible women. They are experts in their own right, in their fields. So we'll have a medical expert who will come on. We have an amazing woman to come and tell her story around rest. We have another woman coming on right after that will share around the physical things you can do to make sure that we are keeping our temples, keeping our bodies in order. And then we also going to target our mental health, right? Our emotional well-being, and the mental effects that just life have on us that contribute to this. All right. So if you're ready, go ahead and type ready in the chat. And we're gonna bring up Tiff so she can introduce our first speaker.
Hello, ladies. Hello, hello, hello. I don't know about you, but I'm ready for a heart check. So that is why I am here. But before we get into anything too heavy, anything that's, gonna bring out the tears, or I already see some in the chat, but hold them back for a second. Let's break up the tension a little bit, because we want to make sure that you have an opportunity to be engaged. We want to know who you are. We want to talk back to you. So make sure you're ready to type in the chat the answers to my questions. So the first part of it, I just want to make sure that you're all present, and I want to make sure that you're ready too. So after you had to put the ready in the chat, I want you to put in here, my heart matters. So take a moment, feel that, and type that in the chat. My heart matters, because it actually does. Your physical heart, how you're feeling physically, your heart, how you're feeling emotionally, all of these things matter. And too often we don't focus on our own hearts. So flood the chat with my heart matters. Okay, I see you. I see you. I saw a lot of people from a lot of different states too. So our hearts are mattering all over right now. Okay, so right now I need to do a heart check roll call. And a heart check roll call, okay? So I'm going to ask you a question, and if it applies to you, just put a heart in the chat. It could be a pink heart, a purple heart, a green heart, it's my favorite color, or a red heart, a black heart, because black love is out here, beautiful. Whatever heart you want. So again, I'm going to ask a question, and then if it pertains to you, if it's something that you do struggle from, suffer from, whatever, put a heart in the chat. Okay? So the first question, if you've ever said, I'm fine, but you were really exhausted, put a heart in the chat. If you ever said, I'm fine, but you were really exhausted, I'm going to put a heart in the chat, because that's me, 100%. Always trying to just say, I'm good. I'm going to go to bed soon. Knowing good and well I should have been in bed hours ago. Okay, I see some hearts in the chat. Yeah, ladies. We're going to change that. We're going to change that today. The next question, if you've ever put everyone else first, put a heart in the chat. Okay? And this last one is a big one. And that's going to lead us into our first speaker. If you've ever ignored a symptom because you were just too busy. A symptom could be a headache. It could be a flutter in your chest. It could be whatever else. And you're just drinking a ginger ale like Val said, or just, I'm going to get some water. That's me. I'm going to get some water and I'll be okay. If you've ever ignored a symptom because you were too busy, please put that in the chat. Put a heart. I see y'all. 2 hearts, 3 hearts. This is a serious thing. So now I want you guys to think about it as we go through each speaker, and as we spend time together today, thinking about what your heart could say if it could talk. What would it say to you? Would it say, slow down? Would your heart say, forgive? Would it say, go to the doctor, girl? That's how my heart talked to me. Would it say, drink the water, sis? Or would it simply say, heal? Think about that as we go through here. If you want to put it in the chat and share, it's a safe space. But I want you just to think about that. So for too long, women have survived on stress, caffeine, and silent strength. But today we're choosing strategy, we're choosing awareness, and we're choosing alignment. So the first piece of the alignment is to get ourselves together physically, inside. Okay, so we have a great nurse practitioner, Adwoa Bostick, joining us. She has over 12 years of medical experience and a diverse clinical background in advanced cardiac care. Perfect person. She also began her career as a registered nurse specializing in heart failure. Okay, so this is the perfect woman. Adwoa, come on out and let's have some girl talk.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, Miss RN, Miss Nurse Practitioner. Uh-huh. I love to see our people doing these great things, and I'm proud of you. And
Thank you.
we've been going to church together forever, so I've seen you in all the different steps, and I'm proud of you. So clap it up in the chat for Adwoa Bostick.
Thank you, Tiff.
And thank you for joining us. We just want to have a real conversation because there's so many things that we just think we know or we think we heard, but it's you know, we don't know. Like the whole ginger ale thing. You know, if people said that, but is this real life? Okay, so
Yes.
first things first, I want to clear some things up. Okay. A lot of women hear heart disease and immediately, like myself, think about an older man clutching his chest, falling down. Cause that's what I've seen in the movies. I've never seen it in person. But is that how it goes down for us as women? You know, what does that heart trouble actually look like in women?
So, like you said, that whole, that clutching pain in your chest, right? For women, that's not how it shows up. Men,
Wow.
it can, right? But for women, our symptoms, and unfortunately, the reason why heart disease is called, a silent killer is because
Mm,
our symptoms look so atypical, so vague, that
okay.
you might not even think that you're having a heart attack, right?
Wow.
Some symptoms that you might feel, you can feel that chest pressure or chest tightness. Sometimes it also shows up as heartburn, that burning
Mm,
sensation. You might think, oh, maybe I ate something bad, or
yeah.
um, it comes and goes, right?
Yeah.
But then you can also have symptoms that aren't cardiac related, right? So
Oh.
maybe some shortness of breath, right? Maybe some extreme fatigue. We're thinking, oh, I'm just really tired. Some lightheadedness, nausea, vomiting, cold sweats. Sometimes it also presents as like jaw pain radiating into the
Mm,
neck, into the arm.
wow.
Sometimes anxiety, it can feel like an impending doom, right? So there's so many symptoms that we kind of just brush off because,
Yeah.
oh, it might be stress, oh, I'm just tired, oh, I'm just doing a lot, right? It's
That's
not that
me.
classic clutching of the chest. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, I feel like I'm having a heart attack.
Oh wow. I'm one of those girls. You named all the things that I do. I do I got anxiety one day out of nowhere and I probably should have went to the doctor. So like how do we know if how do we know when to go to the doctor? Like, you know, if I do feel that heart flutter or if I do feel that anxiety or heartburn, how do I know it's just heartburn versus go get it checked out?
So you want to think about it like this, right? When we're thinking about anxiety, we're thinking about stress, it's usually triggered by something, right?
Okay.
We're thinking about the finances, we're thinking maybe, marital stuff, work stuff, the kids, those things, right? It's
Yeah.
triggered by something. Anxiety is triggered by something. But when it comes to cardiac related, it's something that just it comes on. It's something new, it's something sudden, or if your symptoms are worsening, right?
Okay.
Those are the times where you have to say, hold on. Now, you're the expert of your body, right? You know the difference between, okay, hey, maybe this is a little stress, or this is still persisting. This isn't feeling like what I more normally feel like, right?
Yeah.
Especially one symptom, right? If you're having like extreme fatigue and exhaustion, right?
Yeah.
If that's not relieved by rest, then okay, hold on. I think I need to go get checked out, right?
Okay.
Something's clearly wrong here.
Okay, that's good because I'm always tired and I just be like, I'm tired. I'm gonna lay down. I think, oh, it's my lack of sleep, but I've been tired for a while now, Audrey.
Also, get your vitamin D level checked too. Us as African American women,
Hmm.
we lack vitamin D. Us who live in New Jersey, the tri-state area, we don't get enough sun and all this snow here that we've gotten, especially in the winter. And if you're not taking your vitamins, that also is a part of it.
This snow is disrespectful, but
Very.
no, I do start to feel the, what is it? I feel like dreary when that sun does not come out.
Hmm.
I did, my doctor always checking my vitamin D. So I'm up on that. But definitely I know that sun does wonders for
Yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah.
But I do
Mentally,
think,
physically,
yeah,
emotionally, the sun does wonders for us.
yeah. So I think I definitely need to make my appointment. So I need to go to a specialist in heart care or just my primary care.
Your primary care physician, you go once a year. I
Hmm.
recommend to every woman, man, if you're on this channel, but once a year you go to your doctor, you get your annual physical, right?
Okay.
And with this annual physical, you want to make sure not only are they checking for a good clinician, right? You're
Right.
checking your blood cell count, you're checking your chemistry panel, you're checking your hemoglobin A1C, right? That checks for your diabetes. That's a diabetes
Okay.
marker.
Okay.
And then your cholesterol. There's something called a lipid panel. And with the lipid panel, especially what you want to pay attention to, right, is your overall cholesterol. You want that to be in us women, you want that to be less than 200. Thinking about our LDL. So LDL, you want to think of that. That's the bad cholesterol, right? So
Okay.
that's the one that kind of, really clogs up the arteries. So you want to make sure that that bad LDL is less than 100, right? And
Okay.
then we have what's called the HDL, which is healthy, right? I think of HDL, healthy. So our
Makes sense.
healthy cholesterol. So we want that to be less than or just about around 50, okay?
Okay.
And then we have triglycerides, which is another marker for cholesterol, and we want that to be under 150.
These are some good numbers because I never know what they like. Oh, your numbers are good, and I'm like,
Mhm.
what are they?
Mhm.
So this is good information. Make sure you have
Yeah.
your notebooks out in the chat. Let us know you got your notebooks out and that you're taking these good notes because this is good. This is good numbers. What is a good blood pressure?
So I know we always think about a good blood pressure is, oh, my blood pressure is 120 over 80. Now, don't
That's
get me
good.
wrong, that's a good blood pressure, right? But here's the thing, anything under 120 over 80 is really ideal, right? Once we start getting into the 120 and above, it's considered elevated. Not elevated enough to have you, be on blood pressure medication, but it's kind of in that elevated zone, right? As a practitioner, usually if your blood pressure starts to, start hovering closer to like the 130s, 140s, that's when you're considered to be in stage 1 hypertension, right? And your
Mm.
doctor or your nurse practitioner might start you on medication to help bring that down.
Wow. Okay. Okay. That's good. I like to know all these things. To come in there and be knowledgeable is an irreplaceable thing. So thank you. So now I want to know what are some red flags that let us know to go to the urgent care or ER right away?
Okay. So you want to think about it like I said, right? Think about your symptoms, right? So that chest pain or discomfort, right? It's not going to necessarily feel like, this is really hurting me, but chest pressure, chest discomfort, shortness of breath, maybe some, sudden dizziness, jaw pain, like I said. If these symptoms are new, they're suddening, they're worsening, go get checked out, right?
Okay.
It's not a waste of time when you're thinking about your life, right? I always tell my
Exactly.
patients, I would rather you go to the urgent care or the emergency room and they say, hey, you're perfectly fine, than
Hmm.
you being home, brushing this off and God forbid, something happens. I've
Yeah.
had family members who, not family members, but I've had friends and family friends who didn't know they had, underlying cardiac disease, and unfortunately, that led to death. Right. So it's one of these things where it's like we can't, especially us as women, as Valerie said, heart disease is the number one killer in us. That's
Yeah.
the number one killer out of all of the diseases that we have in the world, even cancer, right?
Wow.
Heart disease is the number one killer in us women.
Wow.
So, don't take it lightly when your symptoms are feeling a little weird, when
Mhm.
you're going through your day just not feeling like yourself. Don't brush it off. It's better for you to go get checked out and they say, "Hey, you know what? Nothing's wrong." Right?
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. Okay. So everyone says stress is what affects your heart. Stress is this. Oh, stress gonna mess up your heart. Oh, stress, don't stress because this can stress actually damage your heart.
Absolutely. 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 So you want to think about these two hormones, right? We have these two hormones in our body called cortisol and adrenaline, right? And these are usually inflamed and elevated when we're constantly stressed, right?
Hmm.
And because of these hormones, gradually over time, it starts to even change the heart structure, right? So that can lead us to having like that irregular heart rhythm, right? Sometimes you might feel like, oh, maybe my heart, skipped a beat, or, maybe I felt
Yeah.
like something there, but I'm not sure, right? But overall, it changes our heart rhythm. It keeps our heart rate elevated, and eventually that leads to heart attack, stroke,
Mhm.
and clogged arteries.
Okay. So it's real, ladies. Let go of the stress now and go to the doctor. Don't be afraid. Go to the doctor, okay? All right, let's give them a starter pack, so to speak. If a woman listening right now said, okay, I'm ready, I want to do better, what are the first three things she needs to know or start doing this week?
Okay. So think about it this way, right? One, have I made my annual physical with my provider, right? Have
Okay.
I seen minimum once a year? We should all be getting checked, men, women, bottom line, right? Once a year, right?
Okay.
Think about what our risk factors are, right? You want to think about, am I a smoker?
Mm,
Do I already have high cholesterol? Do I have diabetes? Right? And then the last thing is you want to think about, what does my day-to-day look like in terms of exercising, right? Movement daily is the key to longevity, right? If
okay.
I can
Okay.
tell you one thing, one single habit that can really change the trajectory of your life, is move. Okay?
Okay.
And it's not even like, oh, I have to get into the gym and, pump 75-pound dumbbells, and I have to run a half marathon, or, something simple as just walking.
Okay.
The American Heart Association recommends 150 minutes per week in order to
Mm,
decrease our chances of cardiac disease. So you want to think about it this way: that's 30 minutes, 5 days a week. And I'm
okay.
pretty sure, if you think about it, you have 30 minutes to spare, right? We sit and we get on the phone with
For
the
my life,
girlfriend.
yes.
Okay, we're sitting on Instagram and TikTok, scrolling, right? One of the things
Yes.
that I do, I have a walking pad that I bought, and
Okay.
I'll get on the phone and I'll just yap away with the girlfriend. I'll turn on a sermon or a show that I like to do, and I'll
Hmm.
walk, right? But
Okay.
the thing is it's not about intensity, it's about consistency, right? It's
Yes.
not about your speed. It doesn't need to be, a high intensity jog, or, like I said, like a marathon. A low impact 30-minute walk 5 days a
Okay.
week can decrease your chances of heart disease.
That's good. So everybody put something in the chat now that you're going to do. My biggest takeaway was move. I actually do go to the gym, but I don't like lifting all those weights. So I'm gonna walk. I'm gonna get a walking pad because
Hmm. Yeah,
lifting at 75 pounds is not fun and you'd be sore after, but it's
very.
But the movement, I was just trying to get my body moving and build some muscle at the same
Yeah.
time.
It lowers our
So,
blood pressure, it reduces inflammation, it helps our cholesterol, it regulates our blood sugar. And one thing that I wanted to mention also with your hemoglobin A1C level, right? That was one of the
mhm,
numbers that I forgot to tell you guys about. So you want to make sure that your hemoglobin A1C level is less than 5.7, right?
okay.
Anything above 5.7, um, in anything above 5.7 starts to get you into what's called the pre-diabetes stage, right?
Yeah.
So levels between 5.7 to 6.4, that's pre-diabetes, right? That means you're on the cusp of just getting diabetes, right?
Okay.
Anything above 6.4 or greater, you're classified as a diabetic.
Yikes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I know that we're not trying to scare anybody, but these are just good things to have, right? Do you have to specifically ask for these tests, or it's all a part of your blood work?
So, like I said again, a good clinician, right, will be one who checks your A1C, your lipid panel, and all that. I want to say usually, right? I think of myself as a good clinician. This is just my, that's what I'm checking on every one of my patients, right?
Okay.
But here's the thing, some clinicians might just check, your regular blood work of, your blood cell count and your chemistry panel, right? And just call it a day. But if they don't, and this ties into you being a self advocate for yourself, right?
Hmm.
You advocating for yourself is literally saving your life, right? And
That's
as
good.
us as Black women, sometimes we don't get taken seriously. There's that myth of, oh,
Yes.
we have, a stronger sense of skin and we're so much
Yeah.
stronger, and we don't experience pain the same way. But that's not true. And we have to make sure that not only are we speaking up for ourselves, but you want to write these things down, right?
Yes.
Write down your symptoms. When did it start? How long did it last for?
Hmm.
How severe does the pain feel, right? You don't want to just minimize these symptoms, right? You want and don't self-diagnose. That
Yes.
ginger ale thing, that is real. That is real. Okay. I've had patients in the past tell me, oh, I've had some, chest pain and I just drank some ginger ale and it went away. Right. It could
So
have been
once and
that.
for all,
It could have
ginger
been
ale
that.
is not medicine.
Ginger ale is not medicine. I know we say it in our Black community, but it's not medicine. But we have to, stop self-diagnosing, right? And
Yes.
we have to go and get checked out. And like I said before, you're the expert on your body, right? A woman's
Yes.
intuition, we know when something is wrong, right?
You know what you
So
know.
trust your intuition, write down your symptoms. Also, I want to teach you guys some lingo, right? Learn the lingo, right?
Okay.
Hey, I've been having shortness of breath with exertion, right?
Okay.
I've been having, persistent fatigue that's not relieved by rest. I'm having radiating chest pain, that radiates into my jaw or into my neck,
Mm.
right?
Okay.
And ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. I think sometimes we get into the doctor's office and, they just check our heart and lungs, check your weight. Oh, say you're okay. Maybe go draw blood work. But don't be afraid to ask the questions. Ask the questions. What tests can I, get done for me to check, my heart disease,
Yeah.
right? What's the risk of not finding something serious? And one thing
Hmm.
that I absolutely highly, highly, highly encourage, not just Black women, people of color, but everyone. When you have a clinician that, if you're having these symptoms and you have a clinician that doesn't want to do these tests, ask them to document that. Ask them to document that in your records. Say, can you document why you're not going to further test that? Right?
Mm.
Because, I always document my encounters with my patients as if one day this might be read in a courtroom.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
And you need to think about it, right? You can, Tiffany, you could be my patient and you can say, hey, I came in today and I was having chest pain for the last 2, 3 days. And, as a clinician, if I don't do anything about that, right, I'm liable because you
Yeah.
came to me and you told me you were having these symptoms. So if you have a clinician where you're having all of these symptoms and they decide, hey, I don't want to, I don't want to further investigate. It's just stress. Oh, you're
Mm,
anxious. Oh, you're going through a lot right now. Say to them, I want you to document that in my record and ask for a copy.
that's good. Let's pull up
Mhm.
your worksheet that you provided for everyone so that this is something we can visually see and take notes from. Okay, so the key heart health tests you have here, we spoke about them and you have them listed out.
Mhm.
You ladies should take out your phone, gentlemen as well, if you're in the room, take out your phone, take a screenshot of this. It's a really good resource. What do we
Yeah.
have on here? The next one, the common warning signs that you, okay,
Mhm.
the
Look
jaw thing,
for.
that one, never heard of
Mhm.
that before, so
Mhm.
that's good.
Yeah.
And then seek medical care immediately if you
If
experience
you're
any
having
of
any of
these.
those symptoms, yeah. Yeah.
That's good. This is really good. Great information. Full of it too. So this is something you can have at your fingertips if you weren't writing down your notes.
Mhm.
So thank you for that. I have two questions, rapid fire. You ready?
Okay.
And don't laugh too hard.
Okay.
This is some real stuff that people ask. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Only overweight people get heart disease. True or false?
No, that is incorrect. Here's the thing. Now, obesity does increase your risk for heart disease. That's why I put in the worksheet the waist circumference, right? Because obesity is a risk, right? But think about it. You can have somebody who is 300 pounds and maybe they're trying to lose some weight, their A1C is fine, their cholesterol is fine. And you could have someone who's 150 pounds, maybe their diet is consistent of fast foods, foods that are high in trans fats, they're a smoker, right? Their risks are higher than just say someone who is obese. So it's
Okay.
not necessarily
The weight.
it's not necessarily skinny people. And I'll give you a prime example. I don't want to put him on the spot, but Pastor Jim,
Yes.
Pastor Jim had what's called a widowmaker, a heart attack that usually results in immediate death. And
Yes.
if you know Pastor Jim, the audience, if you know our Pastor Jim is probably one of the most healthiest looking men that I've ever
Yes.
seen in my life.
Yes. He plays golf adamantly. He
Hmm.
plays basketball.
Hmm.
He's a pastor at Abundant Life in New Brunswick, New Jersey. Shout out to him. But yes, that was very unexpected and shocking. So there we
Yeah.
go. Mythbuster. My last one is young women don't need to worry. And you already answer that because it just
Everybody,
depends on your diet,
everybody
right?
needs to worry because,
Everybody needs to
like I
worry.
said, heart disease is silent, right? It's silent
Mhm.
until it's urgent, right? You can feel fine sometimes walking around with a blood pressure of like 150, 160, right?
Yikes.
And maybe the only symptom that you might have is, let's say, oh, a headache. And us women with headaches, oh, I'm a little tired. Oh, I didn't drink enough water today. Oh, I'm just stressed out, right?
Mhm.
So it's not to put fear, right? This information here isn't is to be fear based. It's information based, right?
Yes.
And you have to remember your daily life is either protecting or progressing your heart,
That's
right?
good.
Pressuring your heart. I'm sorry.
That's
So
good.
you need to think about the things that not only, and as we continue into this panel, not only the things that you're eating, but how you're moving, how you're managing your emotions. Like that ties into everything with your
That's
heart.
good. I love that. We're protecting our hearts each day, not putting pressure on it.
Mhm.
Okay? So, ladies, please clap it up in the chat now for Miss Bostick. So happy to have you and all this information. I could feel your passion. And we thank you for being in this field just for women like us because
Of course,
number one
absolutely.
killer, we need a representative. So, thank you so much. Put in
Thank
some
you guys for
claps up in the
having
chat.
me.
If you learned anything new, put some claps in there. Say I did and write down what it is that you are taking away from this informative session. Thank you so much. Now I'm going to throw it over to Sharice because we got some more ladies waiting to give you more information.
Awesome. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? Hope y'all awoke over there in the chat. Let me know. Drop some hearts. Drop some red hearts in the chat if you are woke. Did we not get some amazing information from our nurse, Adwoa? Okay. Drop it in the chat. Drop some red hearts in the chat because it is Heart Health Month. And we know she just gave us some life saving information, okay? And we don't want to brush those symptoms off. I took a couple of notes here. We want to make sure that we're going into our doctor's appointments prepared with our questions, okay? We're not ignoring any of the symptoms. So drop your symptom that stood out to you most so that you can remember it and take those questions to the doctor. Shortness of breath, chest pain, sudden dizziness, that jaw locking or jaw pain that she was talking about, you definitely want to write that one down. Those are things that sometimes we ignore and then we go into the doctor's office unprepared. So we want to go in prepared and ask those specific questions that she told us to ask with that terminology. If you wrote it down, write that in the chat. Okay. This is also, you can remember if somebody else didn't get the information, they'll be able to pick up on it. Okay. So I have my notes here. This is so juicy. Okay. This is so juicy. This is life-changing information. Okay. So I know that she just gave us information on what's going on in the heart. And some of the stuff you'll hear today, it might seem like it's overlapping, but that's because the body works together as one. And so I know so many women have questions about their heart and how it's affected. So we're going to move into kind of talking about our diets and exercise. That's right. Type diet and exercise in the chat. Diet and exercise. Okay. And so I am just going to give you the bio of our next speaker that is coming along on this podcast with me, live stream on this with me, Miss Paulette Smithwrick. Okay. So just a little bit about Paulette. She is a certified ESA trainer specializing in strength and conditioning. Okay. She does specialize in seniors and fitness, but that's okay. Y'all gonna grab all the nuggets. We're all gonna get older if you're not there yet. She can help you. Okay. With over 40 years. Somebody type 40 in the chat. 40 years. Somebody might not even be 40, but that's okay. That's showing you how much experience she has in this area. Over 40 years helping people restore and strengthen their bodies. Okay. Paulette's motto, y'all check this out. Okay. I hope y'all leaning in. Lean in. Okay. Paulette's motto is to pay the farmer now so that you don't have to pay the pharmacist later. I'm going to say that again. Pay the farmer, right? Pay the farmer now, right? Invest into your food so you don't have to pay the pharmacist later. She approaches fitness as both stewardship and ministry. Somebody type stewardship in the chat, okay? With studies in holistic health and nutrition, Paulette believes that caring for your body positions you to serve well, okay? Because we got stuff to do, y'all. So I am just going to ask for Paulette to join the screen with me. If she could come on board. Come on. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear
Okay.
me?
I can. You look awesome. So
Thank
we are
you.
so excited to have you here today. So let's just jump right in. I got a couple of questions down. Again, ladies, take out your notebooks if you didn't get them yet because you said, "Oh, I'm just going to listen." Don't do
Doing it.
that because we're going to be prepared women, okay? And we're about to get some information that is going to equip us to have a different life of health, okay? And so, most of the women, they want information about, how to eat and different things like that. So we're just going to plug into that area. Okay. You ready to get started?
Yes.
If y'all ready, drop those hearts in the chat. Drop those hearts in the chat. Okay. So again, like I said, Nurse Adwoa, she set the stage for us, right? And we're just going to build, upon what she already said, So I'm skipping over a couple of things because we don't, I don't want to be
You
repetitive, but
covered
that's
it,
okay.
yes.
All right. So the first question I want to ask you, and taking in consideration that we all want to get our waist snatched for the summer, okay? We're always gonna, they say work on your summer body in the winter, right? But we're gonna focus on nutrition, right?
Yes.
Not just being skinny or having the abs. We're gonna focus on nutrition here, okay? So for women who want to be proactive, okay, with their health, what are the top healthy foods do you recommend to help prevent, keyword prevent, heart disease? Okay, just give us just a few suggestions.
Okay. So one thing you have to be cognizant of is that your plate should look like the rainbow,
Mm-hmm.
right? So we do spinach, carrots, broccoli, and cauliflower. Those
Mm-hmm.
are healthy food that helps the body counteract, right?
Mm-hmm.
A more healthy way of living.
Mm-hmm.
We're not talking about taking a pill for every sickness.
That's
We're
right.
talking about healthy nutrition, healthy food,
Mm-hmm.
preferably organic. And we got to be careful when we hear the word organic because it can be misconstrued to other
Mm-hmm.
stuff, right? Um, in Genesis 1:29, I believe,
Y'all write that down. Write that down. Repeat the scripture again.
Genesis 1:29,
Mm-hmm.
in the King James Version, and I'm going to read it verbatim. God said, "Behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed." Remember the word seed there because that's magnesium, right?
Mm.
When they take the magnesium, when they take the seed out of our fruits and food, they've, they've, they're not helping us. They're hindering us, which is upon the face of the earth, and every tree in which is the fruit of the tree yielding seeds. Aha, there it is again. To you, it is for meat. Now,
Mm.
also, if you read on further, he also said about the green leaves, which is medicine, right?
Right.
Leaves of medicine. So you you gotta eat the rainbow, pulses, which is beans, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, don't neglect the white food. That's a myth because a lot of those we need for antioxidant, for fiber, and I'm not talking about taking a powder for fiber. That
Right.
will bind you up, right? We're talking about healthy food, prunes. Oh, yes, I know, right? So, so
That's okay.
carrots,
That's okay.
spinach is one of the great things.
So we're gonna
Carrots,
put
cauliflower,
spinach
broccoli.
as our number one. So I want y'all to type in the chat, what should your plate look like? She used a metaphor. Type that word in the chat. Let us know what your plate should look like, and then also type in the chat which food, which proactive food you're gonna implement in your diet starting today. Okay, even if it's not in your house, go out to the grocery store or start implementing it today because we're talking about proactive being very intentional about changing just one or two things to be proactive. Okay, good stuff, y'all. What should that's right, somebody got it in the chat, somebody else type it in the chat. What should your plate look like? Okay, number two, we're going to move along. Okay, if someone has already been diagnosed with heart disease, okay, what specific foods can decrease inflammation or lower the cholesterol? Okay, and in order to support the heart repair, because this is a person who's already been diagnosed. They have maybe some heart damage. They might already have high blood pressure, cholesterol. What type of specific foods can we implement to decrease that inflammation? And let's just target that cholesterol area.
Okay, so we will always want to go to once again healthy proteins and like oats,
Okay.
steel cut oatmeal, right? Oats. Um, it's really omega-3 fatty acids. Avocados are very healthy fat. It's good for
Mm-hmm.
the brain as well, right? Olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, and these fish.
Nice. What type of fish would you
You,
suggest? So
okay,
many.
you ready for this? Not a lot of
Yeah.
people's gonna like this, but I'm from the islands. Mackerel. What is mackerel? Right? It's a healthy
I don't
fish.
know. Okay, macro fish. If anybody heard of macro fish, type it in the chat. Let us know. Spell that word out for us for that person who might want to
Okay.
take
It's
notes.
Mackerel. Mackerel.
Okay.
Salmon, sardines are one of my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Sardines are very healthy, and of course, salmon. Branzini is also fish. Be careful of when you buy your fish. Please
Okay.
make sure it's uh not farm raised, wild caught.
Okay, so wild caught fish, okay?
Yeah,
And we're gonna
yeah.
plug in those avocados. Y'all type in the chat which one stood out, which one you're gonna implement in your diet, okay? Because we're talking about lowering
That's
cholesterol,
right.
and we're talking about making sure that we can kind of get rid of that inflammation that's in our body, okay?
Yeah.
So type it in the chat which one stood out to you the most and implement one of those fish, okay? Most people eat fish, but if you don't, you're gonna have to be, make an intentional decision. Like I had to just a couple of years ago to add it into my diet just for those omega-3 fatty acids. Am I saying
Yeah.
that correct? Yes.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah.
So good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, so we're gonna move along. I hope everyone's taking notes. Make sure you write those things down because remember we're going to the doctor prepared. Okay, what food should we absolutely limit? Uh-oh, y'all. Come on. Stay with us. Okay. We're not going to put you on punishment, but we are going to educate. Okay. What food should you absolutely limit or eliminate, right? Pull it out altogether if you want to protect your heart. And why are they so harmful? So let us know what we should just
All
totally
right.
eliminate.
I'm just a messenger. Don't shoot me. Okay, you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Processed meats.
Ooh, what's an
Processed
example of processed meat?
bacon. Woo! Did I just
Uh-oh.
hit somebody on the head or knock
Uh-oh.
them off their seat?
Y'all
Sausages,
okay?
deli meat, hot dogs, right?
Mm.
Processed food is no good for you. Sugary drinks is no
Mhm.
good for you, right? Um, Sugary drinks like ginger ale, Miss Tiffany. I rather you make your own ginger ale at home, girl. Just get fresh organic ginger, put it through a food processor, right?
All right,
And
y'all
just
type that in
drink
there.
that bad boy with some Maduka honey, healthy honey. Here
Uh,
we go, Maduka honey. Like, listen, it is far more expensive sometimes to be sick than to be healthy,
mhm.
right? Because you're taking medication. One medication, one pill can cost you $400 to $600.
Right, so tell them again. So let's go through, y'all. Which food stood out to you most?
Processed
Okay.
meat, bacon, sausages, deli meat, hot dogs,
Mm.
and sugary drinks. Okay.
And what would you consider a sugary drinks? Because people really have a difference of opinion. They'll say, "I'm not drinking Kool-Aid anymore," but maybe they're drinking a lot of the Tropicana juices that are, in the. So, what would you consider a sugary drink?
Soda, sweet tea, and some
Mm.
cocktails. Right?
Okay.
Soda is not good for you at all,
Right.
right? You know, a lot of you can even like just reduce your soda intake or your sugary drinks by just drinking H2O,
Mhm.
water,
Right. Right.
water.
That's a good
Why do I
replacement.
yeah, why do I say that? Because our body needs the blood. Our blood needs 94% of water. The blood. That way it's circulating, right? Circulating. And for women who are expecting, I went through a period where I had to drink a lot of water. That water helps the baby turn and
Mm.
move, right? Right? So
Wow, so we got that water. We got to get that water in. We get that water in. So we know, yeah, did y'all drop in the chat which foods you are going to eliminate? Because we're going to start now. There's no reason for us to start later. If you felt any of the symptoms that our I guess nurse have listed, you want to go to the doctor, but there's things that we can do at home starting today. Like make a decision to put your health first, right?
First.
We're gonna remove that bacon,
Yes.
those fried foods, cheese, things like that. Am I correct?
Yes.
Right,
Yes.
that causes all of that inflammation and mucus.
Information
Go ahead.
dwelling.
Any
Yeah.
any other food that we should eliminate?
Um. Okay. Snacks.
What
Oh,
kind of snacks, Miss Paulette? You know we like to snack. What kind?
pretzels.
Ooh.
Yeah. Chips.
Why pretzels?
Because you know we don't know how these things are made. We just see them on the shelf and we are drawn to it, right?
Hmm.
But we need to be our own researcher and see how these foods are made and processed,
Hmm.
because they are detriment to our entire health and well-being.
Wow.
Right? You want to take care of your body. God said this body,
Hmm.
God created it so that we can give him the glory in all that we do. I know we're going to touch on physical exercise later,
Yeah.
but Nurse Boswick said something and I wrote it down. I want you women to be aware of this. Be careful of this.
Get your pens out.
Okay. As women of color, we are not included in some of these researches.
Wow. Pause. That's why we
We
don't
are
have certain information, because we haven't even been included
included in the
the
research.
research or the trial process, right?
Exactly. Also, whenever for me now, I know I'm not both being braggadocious here.
Mhm.
I'm 71 years young,
Come on, y'all.
right? But I keep a journal of what I'm eating.
That's such a good tip. Hmm.
And when I turned 45, 50, my body was changing because but I've eaten that before, but I was rushing to the bathroom
Hmm.
because our bodies are constantly changing, right? So keep a journal of what you are eating and how you feel afterwards.
That's such a good tip. And like you said, as we age, because I know when I was younger, I was able to eat sandwich meat, bacon. That's all I ate, like crap, y'all. I changed my
Yeah,
diet a lot. But when I was younger, I was able to eat all of those things and just keep it moving. It didn't
yeah,
matter. But now, come
it's
on,
different.
I
Yeah,
cannot do that at all. So let's make an intentional decision to
yeah.
remove some of those things out. And so there's so much confusion around fats and carbs and things like that. So can you break down which healthy fats and whole foods? We know the store Whole Foods, but there's a reason why that store is called Whole Foods. So what type of healthy fats, right? We're keying in on because we do need fats for our body, right? And we do need
Oh,
carbs.
yes, yeah. The brain needs it. Yeah.
So we're focusing in on the healthy carbs and the healthy fats. What type of whole foods truly support our health? Can you share some examples of
Okay.
those?
So I'm being repetitious
That's
again.
okay.
So we need to be very cognizant of. I'm going to share this first. When I do this, and Sharice, you saw me in the store the other day, and I was like scanning, right? So there
Hmm.
are apps out there that can help us with our how we should be eating. One of them is Yuka, Yuka, right?
Ooh.
You scan the barcode, and it tells you. It will say bad or zero, meaning bad. If it's anything over 55%, it's either excellent or good or great. So that's one app, Yuka.
Okay, so hold on. Let's make sure everybody has that app so that you want to type it in the chat. Spell it one more time.
Yuka.
Yuka. You want to download that app. You're saying we can go into the store, we can turn it on the back where the ingredients are, scan the ingredients, and then it
Scan the
will let us
barcode.
know.
Scan the
Scan the
barcode.
barcode.
Hmm.
And then what will it do when we scan the barcode?
And it will tell you if it's good or bad. And
Mm,
then if you scroll down, it will give
okay.
you a recommendation of something better than that.
So this is a tool, right? This kind of answers that question when you say, well, I don't know. I can read the back. I see all these ingredients, but I have no idea what's healthy, what's not. What are these percentages? Let's use this app, ladies. Let's be intentional. Download the app today. The next time you go in the grocery store, let's make it fun. Go scanning items. Because listen, y'all, I ran into the store with Paulette one day. I have a little snack I had. She said, let me scan it real quick. Scanned it. and just let's just say I ran to put it back. Okay, I ran to put it back. So it's very, very helpful. We want to take that tool
Yeah.
and we want to implement that in our lives. Okay, give us just at least one more example of a healthy carb.
Okay, so a healthy carb would be sweet potato.
Oh, nice.
Do you know that there's over 200 plus varieties of sweet potatoes?
I did not know.
Right? So I love sweet potatoes. The
Mhm.
purple ones are good. The
Right.
orange yellow, those are good, but there are so many different varieties. And so sweet potatoes are very good. The white potatoes are very starchy.
Mhm.
So break it down a little bit. If you like white potatoes, that's fine.
Mhm.
But in moderation. We should have
And
everything in moderation.
awesome. So
Right?
y'all got that. A healthy carb is a sweet potato. I don't know so much about how our mamas and stuff used to cook it with all the sugar and all that kind of stuff like that. So let's try to,
Don't do
maybe on
that.
the holidays
Don't
or
do that.
whatever, but
Don't add
let's
to
try to
it.
stay away from
Yeah.
dumping all the sugar and syrups in there. And,
Yeah.
that knocks down the nutrients that it's providing for us. Okay. So I'm going to move along. For busy women, okay? Come on. That's probably
Yes.
most of the women on the chat. And we thank y'all so much for taking time out today. But for busy women building businesses and families and building our communities, what are some simple, all right, Paulette, simple, practical tips to start eating healthier for our heart protection without feeling overwhelmed? Okay, because many times we think about healthy foods, how we have to prepare them, how much time it's going to take. So just give us some short, kind of like simple tips that we can implement today so that we're not overwhelmed by changing our diets.
Okay. So years ago, crock pots was very popular. Remember those
Mhm.
crock pots?
Yes.
So we can do that. We can set that up.
Mhm.
You can prep your food, right?
And what do you mean by prep? What do you mean by prep?
Preparing them like take a time out, be it as a weekend, Saturday or Sunday, right? You get your and prep them. Now, I use a lot of glass containers, mason jars, glass jars, right?
Mhm.
I don't use plastic containers and I don't put any plastic containers in microwaves. Okay, I'm going to educate you guys here. I'm not getting off topic here, but I want you to be healthy, right? Um, so use stainless steel and glass, right? Your
Type that in the
chopping
chat.
your chopping board, don't use those plastic things because it gets into the food, right? Stainless steel and glass, right? Air fryers. I just learned this maybe about a week or so ago from reading one of my for my class. If the air fryer has that black Teflon inside, it's not a healthy air fryer. You want stainless steel,
Good tip. Good tip right
right?
there.
So prep everything, put them in glass jars, put them in mason jars or glass containers, put them in the refrigerator. So then you're ready to cook now, right? You're gonna do a salad, you're gonna do your stew, you're gonna do your fruits and veg. It's all prepared. It's already prepared. So all you gotta do is put it in the oven or put it in the frying pan or whatever. You're already prepped.
Right. So that's a really good tip because if we're busy, how many people know if you're busy, it can be a chore just in your brain thinking about what am I going to eat every day. If anybody can relate, just please type it in the chat. Please. And you're like, oh my God, I got to figure out what I'm going to eat again today. So if we prep our food, maybe
Yeah.
on a Sunday, get it in those glass jars, get it in the refrigerator, enough portion for you to take out along with your healthy snacks, right? For work so that we won't revert back to junk, then it's like we'll be
Yeah.
prepared. Okay. All
Just
right,
cut them
good
up. Cut up
stuff.
your apples, cut up your carrots, cut up your pears. Put it in the refrigerator. Cut them up already. So you don't have to be like, oh, you get home, bam, bam, bam. Here's a salad already done. Chill. Next thing you move on to
Good,
the next thing.
good
Time
stuff.
constraint. Time constraint.
Y'all make sure y'all implement that meal prepping start tomorrow, okay?
Yeah.
And so with the meal prepping, with our healthy foods, with our change in diet and stuff like that, we wouldn't spend the last 5 minutes just talking about exercise, okay?
Yes.
Because
Mhm.
as you say, the exercise and the diet, they are what, Paulette? You always say they are married, right?
Very.
Yes, the
That's a
diet and
yeah.
exercise is married. So I just want
That's a marriage made in heaven. It was
That's
supposed
the
to be.
marriage made in heaven. Type that in the
Yeah.
chat, y'all. Exercise plus diet equals a marriage. Okay.
Yes.
And so, how important is exercise in preventing heart disease? I'm gonna kind of mix these questions together, because our time is moving. But
Yes.
when we talk about moving our bodies, okay, and the effect that stress has on our body, why is it that moving our body can actually help with the heart, help with stress, help with high blood pressure
Blood
and
pressure.
cholesterol? Like,
Yes.
what's the significance of moving the body?
So one thing that the brain and the heart and the lungs and the organs need is when you've made a decision, right?
Mhm.
It goes into this excitement. Oh my God, she's gonna work out, right? So I know some people said, I don't like to lift heavy weights. I'm not asking you to lift heavy weights. Nurse Bostick said it earlier. 150 minutes or hours a day, right?
A
Just
week.
walk a week. Excuse me. Just walk.
Mhm.
Now, Tiffany said, I don't want to lift weights. Tiffany, you can use resistant bands. They're gentle on the muscle, and we need to do stretching. We need to do resistance training because our skeletal system require us to do that.
Yes.
Too much cardio, your muscle becomes like a bowl of jello,
Mm.
right? So resistance training, resistant bands, wrist weights, 2.5, you're walking, you're pushing. Your home is a gym, believe it or not.
Yeah, so we could utilize our home, because I know I heard somebody saying in their mind, I don't have a gym membership. I don't want to go to the gym. So we're going to use some maybe canned goods. I hear people used to say they use canned goods. We're
Yeah.
going to do some strength resistant. You heard what she said. Anything that starts to work out the muscle, okay? And we want to just implement these things like starting today, okay? Everyone can do it. I don't want you to feel left out. We don't want you to feel intimidated. We want to start small, right?
Yeah.
Start small. If you don't work out, start small with walking and doing light weights, like Paulette said. Change those little bit of things in your diet, and you're going to feel the difference, right? You're going to feel the difference in your body. Before we close, do you have any last minute tips that you just want to say?
Yes, I want to make sure of this. As a personal trainer, I would have clients say, my doctor said I shouldn't do squats. My doctor said I shouldn't do this.
Uh-huh.
Can I just ask you a question? Can I just say, everybody squats? When you go to your powder room, into your bathroom, you squat.
Uh-oh.
When you get in the car, you squat. When you everyone's squatting right now, if you're sitting down, that's a squat, right? We want to be very careful what we do with our body. Working out, the body goes to excitement. But like I said, you have to eat healthy. You cannot outwork a bad diet.
You cannot outwork a bad diet. Y'all write that in the chat. So I know y'all got some juicy notes on that one. Okay. You cannot outwork a bad diet. So we are going to combine the two because they are married. I know if y'all was able to get your digital books, if you downloaded it before you came on here, and you could download it after, you'll have Paulette's email address to reach out for her if you want to connect with her for more information on how to get your diet together, or start exercising properly. And so we just want to thank you so much for Paulette, for everything, all of the great information that you poured in. Y'all drop some hearts in the chat. Drop your favorite food that you're going to implement. Drop that one exercise that you're going to implement. And we're going to start today. So I thank you so much for sharing your time with you.
You're
We'll definitely
welcome.
have you back on another time.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Happy heart health.
Yes.
That was good. That was good.
So many gems dropped.
So
Okay, I
many
got so many
gems.
notes.
Thank you so much to Nurse Bostick and to Paulette. Thank you so much. Right now, ladies, we're going to take a quick break so you can get up, get your water, because we learned we got to drink more water. Stretch your legs, get your body in motion, go to the bathroom. I'm going to do a 5-minute break. So take that opportunity. You can scan the digital toolkit. It's a little bit of you time. But I also do want to break it up a little bit. We're not at the doctor's office, actually. This is the Heart Health Summit. Okay. So we're going to have a little bit of lighthearted fun. So I'm going to do a this or that type of thing. Okay. I'm figuring out who we got in the room, the type of people we have joining us today, and from you two ladies as well. So I'm going to do 2 options, and you put what option better sits in your spirit in the chat, and then I want you, Val and Sharice, to answer. Okay.
Okay.
Number 1, morning walk or evening workout?
Oh
I'm
my
going with
God.
the morning walk because by the time the evening comes, I'm too tired.
Okay.
I was gonna say afternoon walk because if I had to pick between morning and evening, I would say afternoon.
You're gonna make up your own answer. Got it.
I'm sorry. Because I don't want to lie in the morning, but I guess we should get up in the morning and walk. In the afternoon, I do walk in the afternoons though when I'm fully woke. Right in the evening, like Val said, I'm a little tired. Except in the summertime when I get my sunlight and vitamin D, then I'll be walking in the evening.
You just complex. You just complex. Just as long as you're moving. As long as you're moving. I prefer evening workout. I do not like getting up early in the morning to do nothing. So evening workout. I be tired, but I figure my body got to move, and I'm seeing so much benefits from just moving. So that's the only time I got in the evening. Okay. Next one. Water all day, or are you a herbal tea queen?
Herbal tea in the morning and water for the rest of the day.
Complex.
Intentional.
Intentional. What about you, Val? Water?
I'm a water all day. I'm not really a tea person unless I'm not feeling well, but I'm water all day. Team water. And give me my lemon and some mint in it. Make it fancy. You know, I'm one of those people.
You got to be fancy. Got it. So, and looking in the chat, seeing what the ladies are saying, we got water. We got both from Mary Holt, both from Latricia Reynolds. Okay. Water and tea. I mean, they're both good options. Don't put too much sugar in that tea, y'all.
Oh, I don't put sugar at all. Leave it the way it is.
And don't put the dollar store flavorings in your water. My mom used to do that, but that was too much sugar. We had to get her off that.
Yeah, no.
Water and coffee from Shekinah.
Coffee.
I like coffee too. Don't look like that, Sharice.
I love coffee. So right now I can't have it, and pray for me. Just put it like that.
Yeah, just enjoy your tea, queen. The next one, home cooked meals or healthy restaurant finds?
Both.
I'm a healthy restaurant find. I'm not a fan of the kitchen just yet. I'm trying to be.
Just yet.
I'm gonna keep.
Oh, wait a minute, Val. She meant we had to cook. If you meant I had to cook, then I'm going with the restaurant. Yeah.
Okay. I'll make sure of both, but I know home cooked meals. Mine ain't gonna be too healthy, so it's just not. I didn't learn that way, you know. I learned butter. Okay, I learned hot grease. You know, it's better. It's better that way. And at home, you use what you have in the kitchen, and most of the time, that's what I got is the unhealthy stuff. But we're gonna do better because we're doing a heart check.
That's right.
In the chat, we have home cooked, both, because sometimes you just need that home cooked meal. That's true.
Absolutely.
And Mary Holt says, don't like to cook, need a chef. Me too. Yeah. Anybody here a chef in the chat, let us know.
Are you up for hire?
My cousin's in here. She like to cook, and she's pretty healthy. So put it in there. Put your phone number. Help the people. Somebody said butter is your friend.
Where's Nurse Adwoa? She's gonna get you.
Someone said the war is won at the grocery store. Oh, come on, sis.
Man, that's
your battle.
That's a good one.
The next one I have strength training or cardio sweat session.
Is there
to say either? Say neither. Just say neither.
I'm
Both of
gonna
y'all
say
look like
cardio, but I don't want the sweat. And
you got,
yeah, but
you got to
I'm getting ready to implement strength training because that is what Paulette told us, and that is what my doctor
yes with the
told me I
band.
should do. Yes, and little weights. I started with my little 5 pound weight, so I'm gonna say strength resistance. That's what I'm gonna say.
Would you say that? What was yours?
Neither. No, I'm a when I listen, I'm gonna say this for the public to hold me accountable. Valerie is going to get back into a movement regimen. I'm learning to not say the gym, but a
Okay,
movement
just be clear.
regimen. But I'm not a cardio girl at all. At all. Like running on the treadmill, all of that. I'm not. Give me the weights. I like weightlifting. I can do that, but the cardio is not for me. I know it should be. It's not for
We're
me.
gonna do
Maybe I
all
should.
walking. We're gonna walk. We're all gonna start
Okay, I
walking.
will
We're
do
gonna
some walk.
walk
I'll start with
at
walking.
a
That's
brisk pace. You got to sweat when you walk.
So the heart can start beating
it.
quickly.
I have in the chat strength training, cardio, sweat, both. Somebody laugh at you. A movement regimen. That's good stuff.
It is.
Was that 5 minutes?
Yeah, almost. Let's do one more.
Okay.
Let's do one more
All
if we
right.
got.
All right. I got one more for you. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Do you, when you're working out, do you Apple Watch track, or are you old school? You just know how many miles you done walked, how many steps you done took.
Well, I don't do Apple Track, but I do use that little stepper thing on the iPhone that tells you how many steps
Okay.
you took, and I try
Mhm.
to make it intentional of walking 30 minutes. I don't know how many
Okay.
miles the 30 minutes add up to, but 30 minutes when that stops, then I'll look at how many steps that little app has on the iPhone. It's already built in there.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to be an Apple Watch girl, but for some reason it actually bothers me. So I stopped wearing my Apple Watch. I just
Okay.
find myself and I move with the spirit. Okay.
That's right.
Amen. Amen. Well, I have one more. This is a really good one. Deep breathing break or a power nap.
Tiff, you always giving me that. I need both. Okay, I need both. I do the deep breathing so that I can go to sleep. Okay.
Okay,
One
well, as
leads
long
into
as you
the
get
other.
rest. Huh?
No, I said one leads into the next.
That's right.
I guess so. Yeah, y'all complex. But as long as you're getting your rest in, that's all we need.
Yes, yes, yes. I love it. I love it. I welcome y'all to come on back. I hope you got your water. We are not done yet. We have two more phenomenal women to come and present next. So come on back in the room. And it's not too late to share this with someone else. So go ahead, like. You're doing a great job commenting. But now let's get our shares up. Share this with someone who you know it will be life changing for them to hear this conversation. All right. All right. So I am excited because there's been so many gems that have been dropped already. My papers are filling up really quickly with a bunch of notes. Let's see what I have here. I have a note here around just the importance of once a year getting our physical, right? That is so important. Nurse Adwoa did a great job at just reminding us of how important it is to go and get those checkups. I'm going to tell on myself a little bit, but I used to be one who was like, I'm not sick. I don't need to go to the doctor. And I know I'm not the only one, so don't leave me hanging in the chat. But once a year, making sure that we're getting our physical, just making sure that everything is working and functioning well. Something that has helped me was to just go ahead and put a reminder inside my calendar because we're all busy, right? But put a reminder in my calendar that I need to go and see my primary care physician. And I love how Paulette said, pay the farmer now so you don't have to pay the pharmacist later. She was dropping some gems, some gems, some gems, and a lot of quotable stuff that I'm ready to go and retweet, right? But pay the farmer now so that way you don't have to pay the pharmacist later. because it's more expensive to be sick than it is to be healthy. So, the next person that I am going to introduce to you, when I tell y'all, her story is just transformational. When we were putting together this programming, the Lord rested her on my heart, and I was like, that is one of the perfect people to come and just share her truth, right? Her story. And so I am excited to introduce to you all Brieanna Lightfoot-Smith. She's a dedicated advocate for women who refuse to choose between a peaceful home and a fulfilling career. She specializes in helping entrepreneurs, educators, and corporate professionals prevent burnout by using her signature REST framework. And I'm excited for you all to get to hear about that as well. Her expertise is highly sought after by major institutions and platforms. So she has done keynotes for Texas Women's University. She's been on major stages and featured in Essence Fest. And she also has her insights, have reached national audiences in podcasts and radio shows like Dee Dee in the Morning. All right. So we're not just bringing somebody random to you, right? All of these women have been hand selected for this time. Now, when she isn't developing curriculum or collaborating with clients, Brieanna prioritizes the very balance she teaches. So she's a wife and a mother of four who finds her own rest enjoying cozy moments on the couch or listening to her favorite playlist. Go ahead and drop some hearts in the chat and let us welcome Brieanna to the stage. Welcome, Bree.
Hey, ladies. Y'all been in the chat. I've been in the chat too, okay? I've been gathering myself. I got a notebook full of notes as well. I'm like, okay, how am I going to make these changes without feeling like I can't do it. I'm just going to remember these times and be like, okay, it's not me by myself. We're doing this in community together. So I'm so grateful for you all for hosting this because I've been getting so many good nuggets myself.
Yes. I know I wrote down, I was like, ouch, no pretzels? Okay. I love my pretzels.
That was very specific. I don't even eat pretzels, but I was like, dang, I know people who love pretzels.
Yes. But without further ado, let's jump right in. I want to first start with your story. So, heart disease is one of the biggest health risks that we know for women, and stress is one of the things that play a major role with that. As someone who has experienced firsthand what happens when we ignore our bodies, can you tell us your story and just how it connects to the importance of heart health and self-care for women of color?
Absolutely. So my story started back in 2017. So I was 7 months pregnant with our oldest son, Jaden, who's going to be 9 years old this year. And that seems crazy to me. But I was 7 months pregnant and I passed out in my car, y'all. Just flat out passed out. I was working 2 jobs at the time. I had a business that I was trying to build up and run, and I had convinced myself that motherhood was not going to eclipse my identity. But in all of this effort to try and prove this thing to myself, I started neglecting my health and well-being. And we said this earlier, I was the person who would say that I was fine when I was exhausted. I was the person who prioritized other people's needs. And while, of course, especially if you're a woman of God, like it's important to be of service to other people, what I realize is I'm not serving them properly if I'm not taking care of me.
That's good. That's good because we pour out so much, right? And it comes from a place in our hearts because we love especially our families, right? We just love on people so much that it can be really easy. And I know when I say easy, I'm like, should it be that easy? But it can be easy
Right.
to put ourselves to the side for the sake of helping and loving on others as well, right? And so I love that you just even started there around you passing out in your car, which is crazy, right? But just bringing that place to the importance of rest. And so I know a lot of your work now deals with rest, and I want to talk about rest as a prerequisite. Because I know for me, I used to think that rest was something that I get to earn after I finish the to do list, right? Like after I check all these things off, then I get to rest. And if I didn't do that, then I can't rest yet, right?
Absolutely.
And so when you passed out in your car, did you recognize your overworking as a heart risk, or did it just feel like the necessary price of your success?
The latter for sure. Like, okay, well, this is just the cost to be great, like we were still heavy in that era of your muscle grind, and it wasn't healthy. It wasn't healthy for my health. It wasn't healthy for my heart. It wasn't healthy for even my relationships. And what is so horrible is that when I passed out, y'all, I didn't even go to the hospital. Like, I didn't go to the doctor, nothing. I was hanging out with my mentee. And so I went to her dorm room and I laid in her bed for maybe 20 minutes. And then I went to work. Like, just a mad craziness, just no sense of self-awareness, no sense of self-care. And in my mind, that's just like you said, the cost that you pay, that's the price that you pay. Is what a boss woman would do. And I look back at that girl and I'm like, girl, that was not cute. That was not a flex to pass out in your car and then go back to work in an hour. No one was applauding you for that.
Right.
But I'm grateful that I went through that experience because it really showed me so many women deal with that same thing, right? Like, a lot of us will treat productivity as avoidance. We don't want to feel certain emotions. And so in order to not feel those things, we just stay booked and busy, right? So many of us treat output as identity. So if we are in a quieter season of our lives where we're like, well, I'm in between careers right now, or I am transitioning into motherhood and I'm going to be full-time at home for a while. I don't know how to navigate that space. We find all of these other things to do to make ourselves feel busy. But I tell people all the time, there's a difference between busyness and fruitfulness. And I think about busyness as just constantly moving. You're constantly on the go, right? It's like being on a treadmill, but you're not going anywhere. You're running, you're getting tired. You said cardio when you're really your thing, and that might be part of it. You're like, okay, I'm spending all this time running, but I'm not getting anywhere. And I think that that's what busyness is. But the way I look at fruitfulness is the difference between planting a seed and then like cultivating an entire garden, right? If I am fruitful in this season of my life and I steward well over the things that I have in my life right now, it's not just going to bless me, and it's not even just going to bless my family. It's going to bless every relationship that I'm in. It's going to bless the person that I might meet at the grocery store and they need to get their snack scanned to make sure that it's an approved snack, right? It's going to bless every single person that is not just connected to me or the person that I'm connected to, but they're connected to them, right? It's this ripple effect. And so I think that it's so important for us to recognize that, because when we realize we don't have anything to prove to anybody, not even ourselves, and we really do just abide in our God-given identity, it truly can change everything.
That's good. I love the stewarding and just the difference between busyness versus fruitfulness, right? And this place where as a Christian woman, we hear about fruitfulness all the time. And so it amazes me how once we get into the workforce, especially because I think this conversation, for me at least, I hear it so much amongst successful women. It's almost like busyness has become their identity. And so I'm glad that you brought some of those things up. I know in the chat it's going forth now. Tiff had asked or mentioned around just putting too much on her plate, right? Like just some reasons that keep them from resting. So I'm wondering, how did you transition from this place where you passed out in your car and to where you are now? How did you get to that place of understanding the importance of rest, and that rest was not something that you earned after you finished striving?
It was the stillness. I had to get still.
And it was so uncomfortable. I wanted so badly to just grab onto something, right? I was like, okay, well, I'm going to sit still for a week. And then after that, I will be ready, right? Like I'm going to sit here for 30 days and then God's going to give me this revelation and I'm going to go out and I'm going to run with it. I'm going to make this vision come to pass. And a month turned into 2 months, and 2 months turned into 3 months, and 3 months turned into 6 months. And then it was a year. And genuinely, it took about 15 months for me to recognize all the ways that these things were connected. And I had to sit still long enough to say, okay, so why does being still make you uncomfortable? Okay, well, why do you feel like being a mom full time in this season is insufficient? Why do you feel like you need to get another job, even though your needs are being met and your husband has already told you, prioritize writing, prioritize speaking, because that's what you said you want to do in this season, right? Like what part of you doesn't like to be reliant on other people? What part of you is not trusting in the Lord with all your heart and leaning on your own understanding instead? And all of those moments helped. They were so uncomfortable, but I had to sit with them because I understood that what all of the work that I was doing internally was going to impact everything else. And the analogy that God gave me was thinking about a teapot and thinking about the bottom of that teapot being scorched, and you can put water in it and you pour that teacup into something else and you like, something is off. I don't know what it is. It just tastes off. And I said, if I'm going to be pouring into women, I don't want to have this like weird aftertaste where they're saying, she seemed like she want to be here. But then also there's just this weird, like, I can't really put my finger on it. It's just kind of a feeling. And I knew, and someone said this to me years ago, and I'm seeing the fruit of that now. They said, you will only be able to help women to the degree that of which you have healed. So if you haven't healed in these areas, you can't go and tell people how to do this. If you haven't learned what it means to rest and to be still, you can't go out and talk to women about resting and stillness, right? And so I encourage anyone who's in that season right now where you are being sat down, right? Sat down. Don't rush through it, because what I also told God, I said, I don't want to look back at this season and be like, dang, I really could have been taking advantage of the quiet. I really could have been taking advantage of the stillness, but I was so afraid that I might miss what was coming next that I didn't enjoy the season of life that I was in that moment.
That's good. That's good. Of course, the scripture, be still and know, right? Just comes to mind as what you're sharing. And I mean, I didn't think I was gonna be sharing too much of my personal, but I'm gonna tell on myself just a little bit. In this place where Bree, I have spoken to you. We're in community outside of this circle. And I have spoken to you around the different seasons that I have been in as I navigate doing ministry full time, business full time, just coming out of the hustle and bustle of a 9 to 5. And there are seasons where it is very good. You know, the clients are coming in and, you know, all the things. And then there are seasons where I'm like, okay, Lord, we're gonna do something today. Like, what do you want me to do? And one of the things that you I appreciate you so much for was reminding me of the importance and the gift of stillness, right? Because I knew stillness was important. It's in scripture, so it has to be important, right? It's something to practice, but I wasn't seeing it as a gift. I wasn't seeing it as an opportunity where God was giving me to sit in this Selah moment, right? This moment in between what I was doing, who I was, and what's to come. And that, to me, right, just having to be mindful of my own mindset shifts that needed to happen around the fact that stillness does not mean that you aren't productive. There are seasons where the Lord will call you to literally be still, right? And things will quiet down for you. So that way, you know, you can sit, you can recover, you can think, you can hear, you can breathe, right? Like all of those things. And I had to look at, from our conversation, it made me start to look at rest as this place where, not that I'm not being productive, but my productivity is different. I'm no longer being productive in my doing, right? Like I'm not doing, but I'm becoming in my stillness,
Yeah.
right? And the beauty just even in that. And so I just wanted to acknowledge that, but also connecting to this place because I know rest is so personal for you.
Yeah. And I think about seasons, right? In nature. And I love a good analogy. I love when you can be experiencing something and see that thing in nature because it just provides so much insight. And when you think about winter, winter is not cute. I mean, listen, I'm down here in Texas and I will admit it is 80 degrees today. So it is actually very cute out here in Texas. But typically in a full season, all 4 seasons state or city or country, you experience the slowness and the quiet of winter. And a lot of times it looks like stuff is dead and it's not really pretty to look at. You got your just, it just looks like the trees just look like stick. Everything is black or brown. You get snow, which looks beautiful in the moment, but then you have that slush that starts to develop over time because people are driving over it, and it's not attractive. But there is work that's happening even underneath the surface, and I think I even tie that to the Bible. When Jesus raised Jairus's daughter, and everyone, he comes to the room and she's dead, and he's like, she's not dead, she's just asleep, and they start laughing. And I just think it's important for us to understand there are things in our lives that look like they're dead, but they're not dead. They're just resting. Like, just give it a minute, let it marinate, let it do what it's supposed to do, because you do not want to arrive at your destination prematurely. And at the end of the day, you're going to have to go through that path. So you can take the long route, or you can take the direct route. Like, you can take the path that says, okay, I'm out there, I see some lessons here that I need to learn, I'm gonna pick that up along the way. I see some lessons here. Oh, I see this person that I need to meet here. And you can lean fully into that. Or you can say, oh no, I don't need to. I think I'm advanced. I'm ready for the advanced track. And you get to the thing that you've been pursuing, and all of a sudden you don't have the story that you were supposed to have because you skipped that part of your chapter, right? Like, you don't have the experience because maybe you were sent to this internship or you were sent to this job and you said, well, I don't need this job, I'm gonna go over here and do this other thing. Meanwhile, that job had the skill set that you needed to cultivate for the thing that you were supposed to build on your own. So we just have to be so intentional about not rushing our seasons and really trust, like, okay, God, if this is where I'm at, then this is where I'm supposed to be. And when I'm supposed to go somewhere else, you're going to be the one who leads me.
That's good. That's good. We don't need to be in the wilderness longer than we need to, because we won't be still.
Yeah.
That is so good. So in the comments, I see people are resonating a lot with this never-ending to-do list, becoming in their stillness, also the weather, right? Us who are northerners are like, we need some of that weather as well. But as we are going through this, right, I know that because this has become hard work for you, not just for yourself personally, but also reaching out to teach others how to rest, the importance of stillness, and whatnot. One of the things that I think will be really helpful to hear is, like, how can someone figure out what will work for them?
It's a great question. So this is where my framework comes in, right? So I have a R.E.S.T framework, and the R stands for retain, the E stands for energize, which you guys see this energy transfer sheet coming up on the screen. The S is for systemize, and the T is for tracking, right? So the R, what things do you need to retain in this season? I think a lot of times we just want to go straight to, some of y'all don't have a problem with cutting stuff off. You're like, oh, baby, I'm a prune expert. Okay, I can prune that. It's like, maybe there's something you need to keep here, right? let it sit with you. So what things are working really well in this season? And then what are areas that you need some restoration, where maybe you look back at a previous season, you're like, you know what, I really enjoyed that. I stopped doing it. Why did I stop doing that? I know that that's what writing has been for me. I'm like, girl, you got so caught up in trying to be on video, because that's what people tell you. You need to be on video. You need to be on YouTube. But you love writing. You're a writer. You went to school for journalism. Like, so much healing has happened through your writing. So return to your writing. And in writing, there was rest. In writing, there was reflection. In writing, there were these revelations that I was having, that I was able to eventually say, oh, that's what this is for. That's where this ties in, right? And that ties back to the energy part of the framework. So what energizes you in this season? And then what drains you in this season? Do you light up when you're able to connect with other people, like the women here in this chat? Do you light up when you get excited about thinking about helping people eat healthier? Do you light up when you're able to help people advocate for themselves? Pay attention to those things that light you up, because then you have an opportunity to say, okay, if this is lighting me up, how can I retain this? How can I do more of it? And then we go to the S. How can I create system, structure, and support to be able to keep this work going? Because in my experience, burnout is often a result of seasons shifting and you didn't shift with them. So all of a sudden, this thing you used to be able to do, you could do it for hours and hours and you would lose track of time. And now you're like, baby, I can't do this for 10 minutes. I'm ready to go, right? You have not identified, oh man, there's a structure here that no longer supports where I'm going, right? There is a system here that I put in place that helped me in one season, but it's not really helping me now. And the support piece is really important, because then you can ask these questions. What are the things I have to do? No one else can do them. It has to be me, right? So I know for me, it's like, I'm going to do my writing. Nobody can show up and do my speaking engagements. I'm working on getting my R.E.S.T framework to be something that people can license and we can have facilitators, right? But even then, they still not going to do it like your girl, right? So what are the things that can only be done by me? Then you go to your could do tasks. All right, these are things that I know how to do, but I also could bring people alongside to support me. And for any of my overachievers in the room, this is where you need to spend the most time. Because at the end of the day, you get burned out, you get bitter, you get resentful, because you're like, nobody's helping me, I'm doing everything. And you have to ask yourself, did you even invite people to help you? This was game changing in my marriage, because listen, every framework, every kind of, I'm always testing it out in my personal circle. So my husband and I went through my R.E.S.T framework at the beginning of the year. And I said, listen, brother, here's where I need some systems and some support. I said, I do not want to do laundry. I used to do a laundry service. And even that became a task, because then I still waited 5 to 8 business days to put the stuff away. So I said, listen, I don't want to do the laundry. I could do it. I have the functionality, but I don't want to do it. Okay. And he has taken that off my plate, and he has split it with the kids. So I don't touch laundry unless it's mine. I don't touch it. And that's been so huge. And it's like, man, just by saying that's something I don't want to do anymore, I got help in that area. Now, understand, now we move to the bottom where it says what can be delegated or dismissed. Sometimes your support people are going to say, well, I don't want to do the laundry either. So then that's where you might say, okay, well, we need a laundry service. Or you might get someone who says, we were talking about not liking to cook. If y'all decide, oh, I don't like to cook, you don't like to cook, if it's in your budget, then get a meal prep service. Do it. Because at the end of the day, it's not worth the mental drain every day, 3 times a day, to be like, now what? Oh my gosh. And what a lot of us do, we just don't eat enough because we're like, I can't think about a meal again. I'm so tired of thinking about what to eat. So we just fill up on water and we're like, well, at least I'm staying hydrated. No, you need nourishment. Your body needs something to fuel it, okay? And then the last piece is the tracking. So how are you going to track what is and is not working? A lot of times this is where journaling comes in. I have a QR code that leads you guys to my planner page, because I have a planner called the Freedom and Flow Planner. And at the end of every month, there is an audit for you to say, what worked really well this month? What was terrible? What are goals that I had at the beginning of the month that actually don't align with where I'm headed right now? Because maybe even when I wrote the goal down, it was more external than internal. Someone else told me that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Like I said, someone's telling me, oh, you need to start the YouTube channel. I enjoy talking, but I'm going to write. And the way that I'm going to do what I would have done on YouTube is just by having speaking engagements and being able to connect with people in that way, right? Being able to identify this is what's working for me and what change you need to make. So this is in that digital toolkit. Definitely go through it, spend some time, don't rush. All right. It shouldn't take you too long, but if it takes you longer than you expect, remember we talked about the stillness. So just be okay with being uncomfortable and do the work that's necessary to get it done, sis. Okay.
Yeah.
Love you.
Yes, I love it, Bree. Thank you so much. You guys make sure that you are scanning the QR code so you can take advantage of that. We have a few more minutes with Bree. So Bree, can you do me a favor for those who maybe miss the each of the letters? Can you just go through REST again? And y'all type in the chat so that way if a sister missed it, they could get it from you.
Absolutely. So the R is for retain. And for some of us, the R might need to be restored. If you're coming from a burnout season, you like, I can't think about what I need to retain. I need to be restored first, and then we could talk about retention. The E is for energize. The S is for systemize. And underneath that is still more S's, right? What systems, structure, and support do you need to be able to sustain yourself and the goals you have in this season? And then the T is for track. How are you going to know all those things you just identified are working? So is it that you go to bed and you actually wake up feeling rested instead of feeling less exhausted? Because there's a difference, right? Is it that your interactions with people feel calmer and your husband walk in the room and you're not rolling your eyes immediately? Is that the indicator, right? Is it that you are actually enjoying your children instead of tolerating them? These are the things you want to be able to pay attention to, because that will help you start that rest cycle again and say, okay, now I know what I need to retain. I got to keep that laundry off my plate. I want to eat more of these sweet potatoes, because even though I was looking at them kind of sideways, they do taste pretty good, especially when you put them with some spinach. Okay, I might retain that, right? And that helps me with the energy. Now I feel like I can get out here. Maybe I am going to get back into the gym. Like, it helps you to pay attention, and it goes again and again. It's not, rest is more than just taking a nap, y'all. Rest is more than getting 8 hours of sleep, because some of you all are getting 8 hours of sleep every single night and you're still exhausted. So that means that there's probably something else you need to be paying attention to.
That's so good. I appreciate you so much, Bree. You all have this inside of the chat, what each one stands for. Be sure to connect with Bree. All of her information is inside of the digital toolkit, which I see so many of you are scanning and taking advantage of that free tool for you all to use. Don't forget to rest and be still and go through the framework. And if you need support even beyond this, check out her planner as well, because that will walk you through some of these steps and tools. I know I hold on very closely to this rest framework. It has done wonders in my own life, just around even how I think about rest, right? And the permission that I give myself to rest. So before we go, and I bring Tiffany up so that way she can introduce our final speaker, any words of encouragement for the woman who is having a hard time? They're like, I hear all of this, I want to do all of this, but maybe they're still struggling to accept that rest is their portion. Any final words of encouragement for them?
Absolutely. It's a Bible verse, Matthew 11:28, where he says, come to me, all who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Like, it shouldn't be hard, y'all. Rest is not easy, but it shouldn't be hard. And I think that when we start operating more from a place of rest, has a ripple effect into everything that we do. And that's really why I'm on a mission to help more women operate from a place of overflow and not exhaustion. So I'm so grateful. This has been excellent. Like I said, I'm about to go backstage and then keep taking my notes. But y'all definitely connect with me. I'm on LinkedIn, Brieanna Lightfoot-Smith. Like Val said, my website, BrieannaLightfootSmith.com, is in the toolkit. And I hope to see y'all downloading y'all's energy audits and actually doing them. Don't let this be something that just sits on your Google Drive, sis.
That part. That part. Thank you, Brieanna. It's been a pleasure to just hear you pour out and share. I'm going to bring Tiff up so she can introduce the next speaker.
That was really good stuff. I was writing down my notes because I'm guilty. I need to rest. I can't be the best me if I'm not getting my sleep in. I almost rapped for you, but it didn't come out too good. But I took away some good things. My favorite thing she said was sometimes seasons are shifting and you haven't shifted with it. And that's the reason we burnt out because you shouldn't even be there no more. Yeah. Had to write that down for myself. And then the whole planning out. What are the things I can do? The must do, must do versus could do. I'm definitely going to use that worksheet. Because me, I like to do a lot at the same time. I like to do as much as I can. And I don't like to do as much as I can, but I just be doing it all in one day. Everything all at once. Because I think I can. I think I'll do that. I'll do that. I'll knock that out. I'll knock that out. But the value of rest is definitely resonating with me because I don't want to fall asleep in my car. And I thank God that you came out of that. And I just want to repeat the R.E.S.T, retain, restore. E is for energize. S is systemize. And T was track. I know you guys got something profound out of that because I sure did. And I know that this next lady that we have for you will add to everything you've already got. Because now we're going to shift gears into being heart checking mentally, how your mental plays with your heart. So we have the honor of having Jacqueline Phillips with us. Clap it up in the chat for her. She's a licensed clinical social worker with over 30 years of experience serving the community. She has lectured at Rutgers University of Social Work for more than 25 years, finding teaching both energizing and rewarding. And she's received several awards because she is amazing. I do personally know her and think very highly of her. She's also served as director of Resolve Employee Assistance Program. And she works within the Juvenile Detention Center. She's consulted at Home First. And she's just working on lots of different committees, notably the Rutgers Advisory Council for Continuing Education. Her classes and workshops focus on clinical assessment and diagnosis, diversity, spirituality, race, and mental health. And she has a private practice here in New Jersey. That's where I'm at. And she's facilitated groups for adolescents, women, grandparents, you name it, okay? She enjoys journaling and she is an unofficial DJ. She know her songs. Aunt Jackie is what I call her. Aunt Jackie, you out there? Pull up, let the ladies know.
For some reason, we're not able to hear your audio. So I want to make sure that they can hear you. Not yet. Not. It looks like you're muted. While we navigate this, I want y'all to go ahead, put in your greatest takeaway into the chat for us. What was some of your greatest takeaways? We're not hearing you just yet. No, it says you muted yourself. All right. That's because this is going to be the breakthrough of all. If you want to log out and come back in, you can feel free to do so. I'm not sure what's happening. It still says on our end that you are muted. Let's see. Because she got some good stuff. I always love listening to her speak. I hope y'all have y'all tissues ready. Don't say I did not warn you. Not because it's intentional for her to make us cry, but she gonna make sure to get to the root, right? And when we get to the root, that's where healing comes from. Let's see what we got going in the chat as well. Of what are some of your greatest takeaways? All right, so we have a lot of people talking about the R.E.S.T framework. It's such a good framework. Let's see. Another comment said one of her biggest takeaways was watching the signs that something is wrong in your body, just doing exercising, healthy eating, and just resting properly. I love that. I love that. Healthy eating is important. Well, it's all important. Let's see what else we got going in the chat. That Sharice agreed with me. Take a sip of water and go get your tissues. Yes, yes. What else? Um, you don't have to go crazy in the gym. Even slower, intentional movement makes us better, makes a dinner. Okay. All right. So she is back. So let's see.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. We can. All right. I'm turning it all over to you. So that way you can be good.
Okay, breathe, woosah. Let's just breathe, y'all. It's just good to be here with y'all today. Hey Evie. Hey, Trish. Hey everybody. I just want y'all to know that it's just good. Andrea, it's just good. How good it is for sisters to dwell together in unity. We are each other's medicine. A merry heart does good like medicine. You make me smile. We need each other. We need rest. I thank all the yes. We look. Our parents had it right. They used to sit on the porch. They used to talk. They used to plait hair because we knew what we were faced from the outside. So we had each other. So I need you to put in the chat, sister. I got your back. I need you to put that in the chat. I got your back. And thank God we got each other. Because when my heart is overwhelmed, lead me to a rock that's higher than I. What overwhelms our hearts? Racism, trauma, life, stress, lies. When you know the truth and folks just lying to you, just doing too much, not resting, not eating right. What overwhelms us? Watching the news. I don't know about you, but I can't watch the news right now. I just can't. I just can't. I make sure I know what's going on, but I got to put that stuff down. Yes, yes. My God today. Yes, my God today. Men's hearts will fail them because of fear of what's going on and who's trying to make you afraid. And I thought about when it comes to the heart and life, it says, guard your heart because out of flows the issues of life. Did you know that the heart has 3 layers? I'm just asking y'all this Saturday. 3 layers: spirit, soul, body. Yeah, I don't watch the news. I'm going to tell you a story. I normally have good blood pressure. One day I go to my gynecologist and she says, "What's going on? Your blood pressure is usually good. What did you do before you came in here?" I said, "I was watching the news and listening." Pay attention. Then Paulette says something about seasons change. When your seasons change, and Bree, you were talking about that when you're trying to stay at a place too long. Each level of life is going to tell you something you need to do and something that you don't need to do no more. I'm telling y'all, it's real. It's real. Sharice, you're right. When you get certain ages, you can't eat certain things. What is life telling you? But let me go back to the 3 layers because Sharice wrote that down. I thought about the inner cord, the outer cord. Now, the outer cord, the inner cord, and the Holy of Holies. I thought about spirit, soul, and body. Yeah. All of that. So when you look at your heart, the heart is an organ, but it's a hormonal organ. I need y'all to hear that. The heart is a hormonal organ. We women, we hormones, progesterone, testosterone, dopamine, serotonin. Nisa talk about cortisol. They talked about all of that. The heart has a part to play in all of that. There you go. Yeah, it's hormonal. And let me tell you something. So when you're older, you become vulnerable because your hormones change, but also you become vulnerable when you're pregnant. Pre-diabetes, pre-heart disease, when women get pregnant. People don't talk about that enough. You're vulnerable. You're vulnerable in those positions in life when the seasons begin to change. Guard your heart according to the season that you're in. So, and then another thing about the heart, it taps into all of your systems. The heart is powerful. So when I look at the systems, it's like, what is it? It's the circulatory, your blood flow, your nervous system. It's that gut. That's why they talk about diet and eating, because all of these things are impacted according to your heart. Breathing. That's why she started with a breathing exercise. Again, all of this is attached to the heart. That's why when we get upset, we can't breathe. And did somebody say, just catch our breath? A lot of times life tries to take our breath away, and then it don't let us catch our breath. Can we just breathe? Can we just breathe? Give yourself permission. Just breathe. Like you're smelling a flower. And then you're pouring out a birthday cake. Candles on a cake. Breathe. Circulatory, respiratory, digestion, muscular. Okay, they talked about strength training. I got to work on that. Renal, kidney disease connected with high blood pressure. Endocrine, hormones. Again, it's a hormonal organ. It's the hormonal organ. When you look at that, and it's also energy. So when you look at the heart has energy so powerful that it goes through the skin. And I'm going to use a term, and it talks about the vagus nerve, and that's the nerve that goes through the whole body. And it talks about when we have energies that match each other. My energy can help you regulate. I don't told you, you my medicine and I'm yours. I told you that. We regulate each other. You ever had anybody that upset you? Okay, don't put that in the chat. Yes. It goes through the body. So whenever we show up, environments shift. That's why the news wants you afraid. Oh my God. Somebody wants you afraid. And why? Somebody wants us eating the wrong things. And why?
Why? And even Bree was talking about reading. Okay, last day of Black History Month, I might as well put this there. Somebody didn't want us to read. Our ancestors were not allowed to read. Because reading is relaxing and it allows you to have control. We need to slow down. Because the thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy. But I come that you may have life and that you may have it more abundantly. Somebody wants us scrolling all day and all night. We talk about young people, but heart health, how often do you stay up all day and all night just scrolling? Is that why we tired? And then another thing too, as Black women, okay. What did she say? Input is our output is our identity. Doom scrolling. Okay, I don't know who said. Yeah, we think it doesn't matter, but I'm gonna tell y'all it does. It matters. It's because we three layers. We spirit, soul, and body. I need y'all to get this. Things are never neutral. Nothing is ever neutral. Because if it's neutral, it's going to shift on some point. It's not going to stay neutral. What are these things doing to us? What is life doing to us? The heart, the systems, electrolyte, even, and it's electric. It's electric. Don't make me sing that song. It's electric, but the heart is electric. So when you get your EKG, it looks at what's electrical that's going on in your heart. What is the energy that's surrounding you? It radiates beyond the skin. It's about love. It's about gratitude. It's about balancing the hormone. That's what the heart does. It balances the hormones. And then you look at not just the physical heart, but I'm going to talk to you about something. And it's called broken hearted syndrome. Whereas a lot of times we just showing up and our hearts are just broken. So sometimes we don't have heart diseases, but we have broken hearts. And Jesus came to heal the brokenhearted. Yeah, broken heart syndrome. It's common in women, and they talk about a lot of times it's older women, but it's looking at, it looks like a heart attack. Whereas a heart attack is complete blockage, whereas broken heart syndrome is when there is a slowdown of the heart, and then it is something that looks at the arteries, the flow is reduced. And you start to look at what's hurting us in life. Is it family? Is it living in America? Is it generational? And this is one thing that I tell people, don't rebuke generational patterns, but pay attention. Pay attention. Who's hurt you? What has hurt you? Because a lot of times you can lie with your lips, but the energy tells the truth. Do y'all hear me? We can, like what the Tiff say, oh, I'm good, but what is your energy saying? Oh, I'm good. Oh, I'm blessed. I'm highly favored. But what is your energy saying? And that's a good thing about being Black women. I think we know truth when other people try to tell us it's not true. And I have something I call Black women discernment. Okay. Black women discernment. Y'all want to know what that is today? That's what it is. Black woman look at you like, yeah. Because you lied to me. What truth, oh my God, do we need to embrace today for our healing? For my healing? For your healing? What whole story do you need to tell? Because a lot of times the system shuts us down. I went to the doctor 3 years ago for my annual colonoscopy. And the doctor said to me, he says, well, according to your past test, you really don't need this year. Because see, that's what people do to us. They tell us what we don't need, they minimize. And I said to him, my doctor wrote the prescription. I want my colonoscopy. You see, what nieces say, what you say, how do we advocate? Give us the language. Even one of the things that I do for us is I give us the language even when we go in places for mental health. Don't say this child getting on my nerves because they're ready to support you to DCPNP. You say things like, my anxiety level is up. These microaggressions that I face every day on the job. Y'all heard it. The award show. They let the N words stay pronounced and they took other stuff out. People still act like they don't know what that word does to us. They act like they don't know, but we gotta know. Do y'all hear me? This is taking control of our own narrative. I don't need your permission for you to tell me that it hurts. All I need to know is that it hurts. I'm gonna give y'all another quote. She's strong, but she's exhausted. She's strong, but she's exhausted. Sometimes you're just tired. And what you say, sis, and we just need to rest. But then a lot of times we don't feel like we can. But if we don't decide, life is going to decide for us. I'm telling y'all the truth. If we don't decide, life is going to decide for us. And then you got to answer your own question. What does rest look like for you? Because I can't tell you what it looks like. Like for me, I like flowers. I like going to bed early. Everybody know I go to bed early. Stop, Sonia, Evie. Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. But what does it look like for you? Is it changing your diet? Is it going to get EKG? And another thing about us as a people, especially for us, we like to be religious when it comes to our pain. We like to show up and we like, I rebuke that devil. Rebuke what? But what did she say? Your body is not fighting against you, it's fighting for you. It's telling you something. Or what is that? That unction of the Holy Spirit. Like, what is that? Like, you can't do that. You can't do that. Maybe she can do that. But you can't do that. What are our bodies telling us? Discernment. What is it telling you? You can't be around that. Pay attention. Pay attention. Are you able to receive love right now? Oh, that's another thing that I always ask this question. Heart health. Can you receive love? I was listening to a woman years ago. She said, part of depression is people can't receive love. And I'm like, I don't know if I agree with that. But I do now. Because guess what? It's part of the human condition. We always looking for love. We always looking for love. A lot of times in the wrong places, but we look for love. This is a community. Can you receive it? People like, I'm always there for other people, but nobody's there for me. Do you let people be there for you? Because that's part of health. Because again, we each other's medicine. Do you let people be there for you? Do you? Can you give and receive love? Isn't that interesting? The heart is about love. Oh, yeah. Can you let people love you? I remember I had a client that said to me, she said, Jackie, she said, I'm so depressed because depression is part of in my heart and in my head. She said, in my heart, I know people love me. But in my head, it tells me that people don't love me. I thought about that. And I'm also going to tell y'all something today, too, as women of color. Black women. If you're sick, if you're dealing with this, I don't need you to feel guilty. Okay, I'm gonna get closer. I don't need you to feel guilty. I'm gonna need you to love yourself to wholeness and let people love you. I'm gonna need you to let people love you. Let people love you. Mary, you said sometimes we're afraid to receive love because, you're right. But you know what, Mary? But the heart needs a rhythm. The heart itself has a rhythm. Life has a rhythm. Mary, you're so right. But life has a rhythm. And part of that rhythm is other people. Mary, part of that hurt is other people. And that's why God sends healers. For a lot of people that have been sexually abused, physically abused, that organ, that part of their life starts to shut down. But you know what? God is so good. He will send a person, Mary would speak a word of life and wholeness to you. Where sin abound, grace does much more. Wherever there's been a pain, God has sent a healer. Wherever there's pain, God has sent a healer. That's the rhythm of life. The heart controls the rhythm. And when the rhythm is upset, there's stress, there's depression. I can't breathe. I can't digest. I can't even digest what's being said to me. There's that rhythm. There's that flow to life, just like with the heart. Matters of the heart. What do you do with that? So, and then that's nothing to Mary. So this is the thing. So there's something about community. I done told y'all the vagus nerve is energy. My energy impacts yours. Don't isolate. They said that there's a disease of loneliness right now. They say young people getting cancer earlier, people dying of hearts because we isolated and we don't want to let people in. But you my medicine. In the multitude of counsel, there's safety. In the multitude of counsel, there's safety. How good and pleasant it is for sisters to dwell together. But you call this a healing circle? Even in a circle, you can't even have a circle basically without connecting. Don't you hold hands in a circle? Look, little children, they teach you the value of life. When you're young, the first thing they do is put you in a circle. They understand. He wants you to isolate because he don't want you healthy. And I don't know if anybody on this line has ever faced cancer. Cancer is a word that takes your breath away. Takes the oxygen out of the room. And one of the things that they ask you when you're going for cancer treatment, who's in your life? Who's in your life? And what do you believe? What do you believe? Who's in your life? Who shows up with you and for you? Who shows up with you and for you? That's the first thing they do. You can't do it by yourself. It's risky. But I'm going to also look at sometimes life is invisible, that you don't know you're hurting until you're almost out of it. I remember years ago, I used to work in a facility that was locked up. So I used to work in corrections. So when you walk in, every door that you walked in, there was a lock. Clink, clang, clink, clang. And I had no idea that it was bothering me. I had no idea that that part of life was getting next to me. That's what I'm saying, y'all. I'm going to need y'all to be patient with yourself. Because sometimes you don't know the pain that you, and we Black women, life come back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. So I decided I was going for another job, and I went for an interview at an inpatient psych facility. The person shuts the door, and I remember I felt like I was jumping out of my skin. And I remember once the person shut the door, I really don't remember anything else. I don't remember anything else. I remember the interview being over, and the guy says, "Nice to meet you, Jackie," something like that. And I was living with my sister at that time. I said to her, I didn't get that job. She said, "How do you know?" I said, "Because I don't remember anything." And you're talking about life-turning moments. I remember thinking at that time, I cannot have another job that I'm locked up. I cannot work in another space where I'm locked up. That was a defining moment for me. And I didn't know it was bothering me. That's why we need to go to the doctors. That's why we need to get EKGs. I had my first EKG last summer. I had never had one. And even in how they check the parts of your body. Isn't it interesting? When you get an EKG, now nurse, you let me know. They do your neck, they do your chest bones up here somewhere, and they do your foot. Yeah, they do that, and it looks at everything as related to your heart. They're looking at that electrical system within your heart. This is spirit, this is soul, and this is body. It's all of it. My mom is 91 years old. I got them 2 minutes. My mom's 91 or 92, and they said, "Mama, her blood pressure was going up." And again, we think things are not related. But some of it is age. Again, Paulette, I was good until I got 65. Everything started changing. But then I have to shift my life because what sis say the season. So now you got to change what you eat. So I'm talking to my mom. They're like, "Mama, heart rate keep going up." And I'm like, "Mom, anything about you?" No. But this is a cruel winter. Still, this is the day that the Lord has made, but this winter has been very difficult. And I'm like, "Mom, your electrical bill was very high." She said, "Yeah." I said, that bothers you? She says, it did. She said, that really, really bothered me. We ended up reimbursing. She didn't know then. And she said, and having that heat on at night bothered me. Again, y'all, we don't always know. So then me and my mom, after we had that conversation, I called my sister the next day. I said, how's mama's blood pressure? It's down. Sometimes you got to say it. Confess your faults one to another that you may be healed. He says faults, but I just confess whatever you're dealing with. Just confess that you may be healed. Whatever you're facing. I'm going to end with this. One of my friends has a lot of chronic diseases, and she goes to a doctor, and he says to her, she says to him, I'm eating right, I'm doing everything, and my blood pressure is still high. He says to her, you are a Black woman. I don't have a medicine for you. You have sons. Y'all got sons. Check your heart rate before they go out the door and pay attention to that. Just say it. Well, I repeat, no, y'all, just say it. Don't be ashamed of, so we can be here. Because see, life, certain things is about choices, and certain things we choose, and certain things life is chosen for us. But there is a balm in Gilead. Right. Connect. Find something pretty. Drink your water. Love your sister. Love yourself. Acknowledge the pain when other people want you to shut up, like they did the blind man before he got his healing. Everybody telling blind Bartimaeus, shut up. But he kept saying it. It's not a lack of faith. Say it. Say it. So we can get healed together. Join hands. That's why I love being with women. When I'm around my friends and we eat good food, I go home and I really sleep really well. Thank you. Love each other. Love yourselves. Stop scrolling. Challenge us. Because there's too many things in life that we don't have control over, but you can control what you put in your mouth and what you watch on TV. There's too many environments that we gotta be in. But what do you do when you're in an environment that you want to be in? Continue the sisterhood. Because you my medicine.
Yes, this was so good, so refreshing. As Tiffany has passionately renamed you, Aunt Jackie, I love you and I appreciate this conversation. It definitely was healing for my soul. You shared so much. I was just taking notes backstage, but you said she's strong, but she's exhausted.
She's exhausted. You're tired. And we can be tired. You can be tired.
Yes, that was a reminder and permission, right? Just a period at the end. There's nothing else. She's strong, but she's exhausted. So thank you so much for pouring into us. We're going to wrap up now. If that was good to y'all, I want you to put some fire, put some heart, put whatever emoji is on your heart right now in the chat. Thank you so much for pouring into us today. Woo, y'all. All right, let's do another breather. Okay. Aunt Jackie said, act like you blowing out your birthday candles. All right. Deep breath in and just blow it out. Breathing is good for our souls. Okay. So we spent this time together just talking about the health of our physical hearts, talking about the rhythms, right? The pressures, and all of the care that is required to keep us moving forward. And so I know that for many of you watching, that the pressure is way more than just about our physical hearts, as I mentioned earlier. And I know that if I was in the room with you, and I know that I could describe many of you who are on the other side of this screen, you are intercessors who are praying and carrying your families, your caregivers who pour all of your love into those that are close to you. Your women who are the silent engines of your families that just keep everything in motion, everything moving, everything from falling apart, not just for your families, but also for your businesses and for your ministries as well. We are women who have mastered the art of pouring out. And for many of us, we have quietly lost the rhythm of being filled up as well. You're the one who everyone calls when the world is shaking and falling apart. But today, I want to ask you, who do you get to lean on? So I want you to just close your eyes for a quick second. We're going to do a visualization and then we'll be wrapping up. But I want you to close your eyes and I want you to imagine. Imagine it's a Friday afternoon after one of those busy, crazy weeks where everybody just needs a piece of you. And instead of checking your phone, instead of jumping into the next crisis, you're pulling up quietly to a private house away from all of the noise, all of the distractions. I want you to imagine yourself just walking through the doors, realizing that for 3 days, there is no one who needs you to be strong. There's no one who is asking you for advice. There's no one who is waiting for you to lead the way or even to solve all of their problems. It's just you, God, your feelings, and your thoughts. How would your heart feel after spending those 3 days just knowing that you didn't just get to go through the motions? You didn't get to just solve everybody's problems. You didn't get to just be a dumping ground for everybody else. But you had the time to actually sit, rest, renew, and be made whole. If your eyes are still closed, you can open them. But if you know that your soul could use that right now, I know mine can. And if you felt a yes in your spirit to that kind of rest that I'm describing, I want you to go ahead and I want you to put a 1 in the chat. If you're like, Val, I don't know the last time that I was able to just breathe. I don't know the last time that I was able to just pause long enough to not have to worry about somebody else's problems. If that's you, put a 1 in the chat. I see a lot of ones just going forth right now. So I'm excited because I want to introduce you all. Now, I haven't released this to anybody else yet, but I want to introduce you all to Soul Treat. And Soul Treat, for those of you who have been around Women's Healing Circle for some time, you know that we have an annual retreat every single year. We did not do it last year because the Lord was just revising things. And so July 10th through 12th, I'm taking 6 women with me. Yes, y'all, I know that's a small number, but there's intentionality behind it. I'm taking 6 women with me to the retreat where we have a sacred time to just heal. This is about healing the pourers, right? Those who pour out constantly. This is your sacred space where you don't get to be or have to be the strong one. You can hang up the Superwoman cape and be poured back into. And so you will receive all of this information inside of your emails. The link to register, I'm just going to check that one just to make sure. Okay. The link to register is there. Like I said, 6 spots, they go fast. So I wanted to just share this with you because this is a perfect time after we come from talking about our physical hearts, right? And the conditions of our hearts, the weight that we carry, and everything else. As you are reminded to take permission to just breathe, to check in with yourselves. When's the last time you asked yourself, am I okay? And so we'll spend 3 days together. I'll let you go on and read all of the details about it. But I'm really excited for this opportunity to spend with you. It's not just a general wellness routine, right, that we're going to do. But the work that we're going to do together is going to be sacred. It's going to be highly personal. And it's going to be intimate so that way you can heal and be restored so you can go back out and continue to do the things that God has called you to do. This time, not from an empty cup, but being full and overflowing. And so I'm going to bring up our speakers back up to the stage because as we wrap up, I just want to say thank you and to give gratitude to you all. Let me get them back up. All right, there we go. There we go. All right, y'all. So this has been an amazing, amazing time together with each and every one of you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for sticking with us over the 3 hours. I know just from the chat alone and the comments that you shared that this has really impacted you. And so from our heart to yours, we want to extend blessing over you all. And I'm going to pray. Speakers, if you can mute your mics for a second, I'm getting a little bit of feedback. But I want to pray for us as we continue to go forward in our day. This was a heavy topic in many ways because it caused us to check in with us. And for many of us, we haven't done that in a very long time. You have some reflection questions that are inside of the digital toolkit to help you be able to just process it all. And like I said, there are multiple ways which Tiffany and Sharice are going to come on right after and just share with you before you go to help you stay connected. It's one thing to hear, be hearers of the information, right? But let's do something about it, right? That's staying connected, that's being involved in the different things the ladies have going on, being involved in a community, getting into spaces like Soul Treat that are curated for you to heal as you continue to walk out in purpose. All right. So, Father God, in the name of Jesus, we thank you, Lord God, for this day. We thank you for this time and this opportunity to just pause and sit in stillness. We thank you, Lord God, for the reminder that stillness is a gift from heaven. It is a gift from you that you give us, a place where we should start our days from, a place where we can go and be renewed and be refreshed and restored. Lord God, it is not a place that we run to just to find safety after overworking, but it is a gift. And so, Father God, I thank you for each and every one of the speakers who have poured their hearts out today, Lord God. I thank you for every participant who is watching this now, and even those who may watch later on on the replay. I pray that their hearts be renewed and restored through the conversation that has gone forth, Lord God. But most importantly, may our hearts draw closer and nearer to you. I pray that we all know and remember that you see us, that you love us, that you value us, that you cherish us, and that no matter how much we go through in life, you are right there with us. And so, Lord God, I thank you for the power of community that strengthens us and keeps us connected, Father God. And I just thank you, Lord, for every way that you have allowed us to encounter you today. You know the very desires of our hearts, Lord God. And so I pray that we continue to sit in the stillness. We continue to sit in the aha moments with you, Lord God, that we rest in your promises. And we thank you, Lord. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen, amen, and amen. All right. ladies. I love y'all. And thank you. Tiff and Sharice, close us out.
Wow. Wow. That's all I can say, right? Wow. That was such good information.
Yes.
I love that we hit all points. It was really good. And I hope that everyone joining us online, that you thought it was really good too. And like Val said, you can always replay this, share it with somebody, because somebody needs to hear everything that was said on here.
Yeah.
I now know the different checks that I need to check with. I heard what she said about rainbow plates and the bands.
That's right.
A lot of work, but I got to do it. And rest, super important. And, my jacket just tear you up, But it's good things. It's good. You got to always stay introspective and checking your heart.
Man, that's so good. That's so good. That's so good, Tiff. So I'm just gonna plug in a couple of notes here, and I know all of you got a ton of things out of today. So I want you to drop a fruit inside of the chat that describes how juicy and good this was for you today. Because we're not gonna drop no junk food. We're gonna get censored, right? We're gonna drop a fruit that kind of describes how juicy this was for you today. Okay.
I'm gonna drop
So
a grape. I'm gonna drop a green
you're gonna
grape.
drop a
Big
grade.
globe ones.
Sweet peach for me. Sweet peach for me. Okay, juicy dripping. Okay, because we got a ton of nuggets and information. And we want to hear from you, right? We want to hear how this experience was for you. Okay.
Yes.
And so we want to hear your testimonies. We want to hear your aha moments. So when we leave this amazing event, okay, virtual is doing it. Come on, y'all. Virtual is doing it. You want to be able to check your emails, and inside your emails, you'll have something that has a link inside of it where you can share your aha moments. You can share your testimonies. If it was a quote, if it was a phrase, whatever it is that stood out to you, we want to hear from you. Okay. And the other thing is, I don't know if you can see mine because I'm a little low, but can you see my pen, Tiff, or no?
I see your pen.
You see my pen? Show your pen, Tiff. Okay.
That's cute. That's cute.
We have these pens today. It's an exclusive pen that Women's Healing Circle has developed specifically for Heart Health Month, right? Because this month we're on the last day of the month, but it is Heart Awareness Month, okay? And if you would like to sew into WHC by purchasing one of these healthy heart pins, right? It has our little logo in the middle with the heart on it, right? It's the symbol
QR
of
code.
love. Oh, yes. Go ahead. You see the QR code at the top of the screen. You can scan it. But it will be inside of your email. If you want to sew in, you can purchase a pen for yourself or someone that you know that might be healing from heart disease or just walking through the process of heart disease. Just purchase one for them as a token of love, and you can represent. Okay. And last but not least, if you are wearing red today, if you have on a red shirt, you got a red lipstick. Y'all like my red lipstick. Okay. Anything. I want you to take a picture of yourself in your red, even if you have on a white shirt, red lipstick, and we want you to tag Women's Healing Circle with your picture and just something that stood out to you so that we can stay connected and you can share all of this amazingness with the people who follow you on social media. And so that's what I have for you to stay plugged in with. And I'm going to hand it back over to Tiff.
So this all was put together by Women's Healing Circle. So make sure you head on over to our Instagram page. And that is where you will learn about this whole community that we have and join us. So on the banner on the bottom, right, it says stay connected with WHC on Instagram. And it's simply at the Women's Healing Circle. Make sure you follow there. And if you have any questions on how to get connected further, send us a DM. Put it in the comments, whatever you need to do. Make sure you are in this community. There's a lot of good stuff like today happening. We're excited about what's next. We're excited for y'all heart journeys, okay? Restoration, healing, all those good things. Changing your plate. You see all the fruits they was putting. Make sure y'all eating those fruits that you're putting in this chat. And make sure your body's moving. And make sure you are checking in with your mental. I hope you enjoyed today. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.